Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming. I am so happy to have everybody here. And as you can tell, tonight is the special one and only Ridgeline edition of the fucking No Cunt Show. So fucking A, welcome to the show, Mr. Honeycomb, Mr. R.O. Between the two of these men, they've got three. In honor of Mr. J. fucking Jared Saunders, three fucking Ridgelines to their name. Hallelujah. How you boys doing?
Doing great, True Blood.
Woohoo!
Thank you very much. Fucking A. I'd like to welcome Sergeant Grinch, D-Man, 50 fucking Metal Gear. Who else we got here? Ketamine Trout. Honeycomb and RO already got you guys. Fish got nukes. Dr. Dre. Oh, man. Mouth the Gate 8. Rusty Rivers, Singletown Bachelor, MGTOW Smurf. Who else? That's it. Fucking A. We got 16 people in the watching, and damn it, I'm fucking itching like crazy because we lost RO, son of a bitch.
Well, you brought up Ridgeline, so I guess he got out of town.
No, I told him to hop on, and he thought I meant a dildo. So what's up, brother?
Oh, I just checking in with everybody. I understand Mouth Gape Ape, he said to go on vacation a couple of weeks ago to see family.
Yeah, he did. He's been there and back. Hello, Mr. Fish.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing?
I'm doing, man. I'm staying afloat.
How's that relocation going?
Good. I actually just moved again today to like the nicest place in town. They got a pool, gym, hot tub. So pretty good, man. How about you?
Oh, it's going good, going good. And I'm glad you're on tonight because one of the things I was going to talk about was my homestead, since it kind of came up this week in other places. And I'd be interested to hear how things are going. I haven't talked to you about it for a while.
I'm just trying to pay off the loan from the move and then save up for some land. Take it from there.
Yep.
You know.
Well, I'm glad that you got the fuck out of Massachusetts because
yeah, pretty bad.
In Massachusetts, there's some people out there that are just plain fucking weird. You know, here I've got one right here. Would you like to hear him?
Okay.
I'm going to dress up like a woman, and I'm going to use the woman's bathroom today.
Holy fuck. Fucking guys in Massachusetts. Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't own a Ridgeline.
RO, I don't know what we're going to do with these two guys here.
It's a fine vehicle. Fine vehicle. Don't let the haters convince you otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, I bought a second one just because it was so good. I still didn't get a sandwich for bringing it down, but we can talk to our Colorado contingent. Maybe next time he'll get us some sandwiches.
Well, that's those Accord drivers for you.
I wouldn't hold my breath on Hamster buying a sandwich. Because, he'll tell you he knows men. But what he really isn't is just saying is he knows how to disappoint men.
He definitely won't make you a sandwich.
No, he won't make you a sandwich. He'll show up all grumpy.
He'll eat all your food.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I heard he likes bacon wrapped meatloaf.
He does. Well, everybody liked that. That was really good.
Jealous.
Yep.
Well, it won the turkey trophy.
It did. The Golden Gobbler. And Saunders sent me and Ape a video today of Hulk Hogan fucking talking about taking corn up the ass.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
You see it?
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Hulkamania himself?
It was AI, of course, but
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of dead.
hey, brother, you're gonna be red, white, and black and blue in your butthole.
There's been so many crazy AI videos around lately.
Yeah. And Sammy got into some poison ivy, and I didn't know it, of course. He didn't tell me, and I picked him up, and fuck, man, I'm going crazy right now. I've got fucking poison ivy fucking bumps all over me and itchy, scratchy. That's why we have the name of the show today as it is.
Well, I guess you got Sammy a bath and yourself dosed up with some Benadryl then, huh?
Well, no.
Just slather him in calamine. He'll be okay.
Their ridgeline advice I'm giving. I imagine what a dog's fur would be like, fucking with dried calamine lotion on it. Yeah,
he'll feel better.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a problem.
It's you. You're the
wash him down with some alcohol. That kills it.
Exactly, right there. A man after my own heart. You got to scrub your skin first. It's best to do it in the fucking shower and then pour fucking alcohol on your fucking sponge. I use the fucking.
I'm sorry, I didn't come here to hear about you scrubbing yourself in the shower.
Well, I thought you'd appreciate that.
No, I'm not down with that.
It's medicinal. He's explaining medicinal applications here.
Okay. I didn't catch that the first time.
Because I didn't catch it when it was happening. I only fucking figured it out after I fucking got up the next day, and my fucking entire body is covered in fucking poison ivy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that stuff.
You're supposed to have goats to eat that shit.
Yeah, I don't have the goats.
Get you some goats, bro.
I gotta get some goats, but first I have to make a fence. And before I can make the fence, I have to clear a fucking fence line.
Yeah, fuck it. They're just going to jump over it anyway.
Shit.
That's what the goats do.
Well, eventually I'm going to have a fucking living fence. I found this variety of wild growing roses called a sand rose or a beach rose. And
how long does it take to get that set up?
Well, it says it'll grow in within 5 years. They're not really a lot of flowers on them, but they're have longer than normal thorns and lots of them.
Ouch.
So it'll be a hedgerow. Fucking let the goats fucking try and get through that. But anyways,
make sure you get you a couple of fainting goats just so you can fuck with them.
Oh yeah.
We've done that to friends before. Kind of gift them a fainting goat, and they show up and they start yelling, "Where did this goat come from?" The goat faint, and then they get just sit there and watch them go through the consternation of thinking they'd killed the goat with their voice.
I'm sure everybody's heard of fainting goats by this time. The internet.
Yeah, just wake up, brew some coffee, go out on the deck, and go watch them fall down. That's a good time there, right there.
Oh yeah. All right, we've got Adrian Blantz has joined us. Cyber Toxin. Mr. Vero, I don't know if I said your name earlier, but if I did, welcome twice. All right, Zechariah 12 and 8's here. C. Jones. You guys know him? I don't know him. But I've seen
Yeah, he's solid. Go ahead and wrench him up. He's solid.
Okay. If RO says you're solid, then you're solid, even if he is.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ridgeline Bros are on top of it.
I believe that. Usually you're on the bottom.
Stop it. Stop it.
No, I don't want fucking premium. Fuck you, YouTube. Fucking YouTube sucks.
YouTube sucks balls. I didn't get a notification. I said it at like 10 o'clock this morning when you posted that you were going to stream tonight.
Yeah.
I clicked the little button, notify me, and nothing.
RO, my notification just came through while we were talking.
Add user as moderator, standard moderator. There you are. Now you're wrenched.
Hell yeah. And Ape, go fuck yourself.
What's Ape saying?
Nothing you need to hear.
Ridgeline Bros are on top of other bros. That's kind of gay. Which reminds me of something else that's been going on. There is a bunch of hoo-ha and doodadding going around where we've got, once again, people who are pretending to be MGTOW fucking trying to fucking fit some people into our community who we don't need.
Are these people with channels or people that are on channels just posting?
Well, it's both, actually. We have... we've got a guy who thinks that it's okay to include femboys and anybody else in the manosphere, and give them wrenches and stuff, and tell us what their opinions are on things. This is MGTOW especially is a place for normal men. It's a place for guys who like women and are fucking getting screwed over by the women that they like. Getting screwed over by the court system and by the fucking just society in general. That's what MGTOW is for. It's not for guys who don't like women. It's not for guys who want to be women. It's for normal men and Ridgeline owners.
Well, there's that.
And Cyber Toxin, I know you say that $20 is $20, but once you take a dick in the ass, you're a faggot.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Well, men's spaces is something we don't discuss a lot of. Even in this space, male spaces have been invaded for a long time. And whether or not it's women doing the invading or it's other people that have malicious intent, we can't be benevolent and let everyone in. We have to maintain a rigid structure that the Boy Scouts didn't, that a lot of other men's only exclusive clubs had. If we don't put a fence up here, then where do we put a fence up?
Well, the gynocentric courts have completely fucked those organizations. You know, like the fraternal organizations that used to do so much good.
Well, EEOC has not the EEOC done the exact same thing. I agree. Once we let's just say we let them infiltrate the organizations that would harm us, men's only actions are to advocate for men, which doesn't work for the various reasons that we all know directly, or we give a vote of no confidence and we walk away. And that's really all we have in our grasp, as well as the access we give people to us and inside this community. We're not going to allow those people access.
Right. And I have, I have no problem with, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate gays. I don't hate women.
You don't hate ridgeline owners.
I just don't want them here. Well,
that's how they do business, and of course they're going to project that onto us. Whereas we are gatekeeping, they look at it as offensive that they're not allowed to come in and corrupt our organization. And it's not really an organization. Obviously this is going on worldwide without any men talking to each other. Triple Ed, we didn't have the internet when we were figuring this out. The benefit of the internet is these women get to allow men to see who they really are, and the women are making men, make a decision to adapt to the current situation. If there's no incentive for men to behave in the way they would prefer, even for government organizations, then we're not going to. The only thing they have available to them is to pervert, the philosophy that men have come to on their own.
Well, they don't want us talking to each other without them. They don't want us making decisions for ourselves, because it does affect them. I know I'm not a fucking catch, but RO, he's a great looking guy. He could be satisfying a whole fucking harem, but no, he's chosen.
That ridgeline will do that for you.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Well, I'm just glad that you're wearing your shirt.
Yes. Always wearing my shirt.
We just don't have a lot of choices. At this point, they've pushed us into a corner. And you're right. They want to referee how we debate these conversations. Hence the reason that we have so many infiltrators that are allowed to talk on YouTube that are able to monetize. You have people who have no business trying to negotiate for us, whether it's Paul Elm and his restructuring tour, where Pop has decided to join the group, which it kind of hurts me. I like Pop, but you've got, I won't give names, but all the notable females in this space that are making a living, and they've got some kind of pull to allow them to be monetized. Well, why would they do that? Because they want them to be the ones who make the deal down the road to try to bring men back to the plantation. And those of us in this space, that's why they don't want us commingling with one another and trading notes.
And they let's face it, there's a bunch of thirsty guys that are MGTOW.
Very true.
Very true. And
it's
just part of the landscape. I started my channel originally because there was a creator that went by the name of Good Mother, and she would have these long streams, and a whole bunch of guys would go hang out on them. And yeah, she does. And there's still long streams that a whole bunch of guys go hang out on, but she influenced a lot of the brothers and brought people to prominence that probably wouldn't have gotten a voice otherwise. by having them on her show. You know, like our friend right here, you know, this fucker.
I'm going to dress up like a woman, and I'm going to use the woman's bathroom today.
This fucker, that's where he came from. You know, same for, you know, the rest of Fagtown. They were all at one point in time her lieutenants. And those guys have been a terrible disruption. They have really harmed the brand online and blurred the lines by constantly trying to redefine what MGTOW is. You know, they want fucking MGTOWs to be able to go to Thailand for fucking ladyboy sex tourism and still think that they're fucking MGTOW. You know?
There's no chicks with dicks. There's only guys with tits.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense to me why that would you know, make a difference. Why in the world would that be needed? You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and some of them are true, some of them are not, about who's behind it and who's pushing this agenda, and why a big company like YouTube or a lot, you know, almost every media outlet will favor female voices over men's. You know?
Well, I do know that we can draw inference from, it was what, less than a year ago, maybe 6 months. The NGO, the government was feeding these NGOs in their goal, and people in this space who are in competition with MGTOW, was it Chris Williamson or whatever? He was purposely trying to sully a bunch of names because he has a program that tries to get men back onto the plantation. You just need to be reasonable and find the right woman. A lot of these folks have that same pitch, but it's not far-fetched for us to draw inference that if they were feeding money to NGOs, they're feeding money to these, just like foreign countries are getting to influencers on YouTube to influence young minds, and their Google's as embedded with the government as anybody is. That's just, if you're monetized, I do not trust you. Right. And it's just that simple, because I automatically think there's something nefarious about you being allowed to be monetized. They are purposely, there are people that show up in my feed that I have no business to watch. How does that happen? I've never watched them, and they're putting them in my feed. So I'm very cautious about how I allow myself, and they realize that this is programming. If they can get to you early enough in the program and they can sully your mind, so much the better. There's a lot of money, you know, flowing to these nonprofits right now, and it's invisible to us, and we'd know nothing about it had it not been lawsuits that brought this to light.
You know, and I look at it from a little bit different, because we had some guys that were monetizing via charging for phone calls with people, or, you know, having paywall, and they don't say anything that we don't say, but they charge money for it, or they have a book, you know, fucking Richard Cooper was the fucking worst of it, in my opinion. I know other people have other people they hate, but, you know, anybody who's out there, you know, e-begging or selling you like lifestyle books, you know, not books of fiction where, you know, we have a creator who's creative and they're making content. It just happens to be in another media. Like that's what Hammer did, and Chronic has done. They've had comics, they've had little short stories, and, you know, then there's Ape, who's just tired of Dick. So
You know what I noticed too about the feed is you'll skip over. It's showing you the videos, right, and you're skipping them, but it keeps putting the same ones you've skipped over in front of you again
yeah,
when it knows you don't want to see it, but yet it just keeps pushing certain ones on you.
Well, how about Fish? How about the ads? I mean, these ads are deviant ads that you're seeing on YouTube now. They demonetize our folks for anything close to that, and they're allowing as advertising. I take great pleasure, and it takes a little bit of time and some mouse clicks. I go through and mark every bit of their ads, deviant and sexual, inappropriate for all ages. I take and sit there and click on every one of them. If you're going to continue to show this to me, then I'm going to continue to tell you I think it's crap. Well, they keep showing them. They don't stop.
You talk about the ad itself, not the content.
Well, it's so much as for this chew that's supposed to help with erectile or mood or these spicy cubes, or then you'll just see underwear ads, with a close up of a woman's tush. You get a variety of things. You're thinking, this is not stuff you should be showing to anybody. If you're going to police us the way you do, then you need to be policing your ads. When it comes to revenue, Google, I think that some of this is driven by NGOs and the government to continue to show certain personalities. Like you said, they just keep showing them over and over again. I'll put in there, do not want to see, not interested, and they'll come back up at some point.
yeah. And there's another trend going on right now. They, whatever the buzzword shaming language of last year was, is now being pushed as some type of a group. We've all seen it with, like incel. Incel was just a shaming trick.
Correct.
Right? Oh, you're an incel. You're involuntary celibate. You can't get laid. You're less of a fucking man. Blah, 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 blah. Well, if a guy, we all know about fucking misogyny and how women misandry, and how women will fucking choose to go up above themselves. That, that's hypergamy. That's a part of their fucking, it's a part of fucking female nature. So that has been inflated because of social media and all the dating sites where guys just want to get laid, and women will fucking get attention from people who back in the day they wouldn't be able to fucking get attention from, just because they will easily fucking spread their legs. Hey, hamster, what's up? And who else do we have just pop on? I saw somebody new hop on.
Primo came in.
Oh, Primo's here. Primo living, long time no see, brother. Anyways.
Well, you do see currently
out, so now they're involuntarily fucking celibate. Well, these guys have made a fucking conscious choice. They're not going to go out and fuck a whore. They're not going to go out and spend $50 because they don't want to fucking have sex with a prostitute. And I think that's fucking commendable. I don't think that should be fucking looked upon as, any type of a fucking derogatory thing. These guys are fucking exercising morals, ethics, values, and principles. Sure, they can go and fucking go down to the massage parlor and get a fucking piece. But they don't do it. And we shouldn't look down on them for that.
Well, I do think that they're a year ahead of accusing us of things that they are going through previously. So the incel, women are femcells. They're not getting the attention from men. So what do they call men? Incels. Now we're going through this male loneliness. Well, it's been female loneliness for a long time before it came to us. And who is it? Who is it that's telling us we're lonely? Women. Liz is telling us we're incels. Women.
Women.
Every single time it's something they're experiencing that they turn around and tell us we're the ones that are responsible for it, and that's what we're going through. They haven't talked to a single man. They haven't looked at a single study. Oh, and by the way, here come the studies now from the NGOs that are showing whatever they want them, non-repeatable science. They're showing exactly what they want out of their talking points. It's just about baffling. There's a
Mark
gentleman
my
on
words,
YouTube.
you're going to see fucking groups of lonely men pop up.
Are they going to be paid for by NGOs, kind of like our fag towels?
Oh, I'm sure. If not, they'll have the fucking whatever the female version of the Southern Poverty Law Center start having some guy be nasty to women and pay him off.
It doesn't surprise me with the false flags that are floating around. I trust nothing because of AI. I trust nothing because of the money for false flags. I just don't trust anything other than what I'm getting to see with my own two eyes now, which is about to make YouTube unviable. It really is. Look at all of the robot shows that are targeting men right now that are robot voices that have been going on for quite a while. And there's a whole bunch of them jumping up with similar names now. They're all trying to make a racket, and every one of them are monetized.
Yeah. Hey, Hacksaw and Psyche Soap.
So
Yeah, it's crazy. And apparently this year or last year, 2025, there was more bots, more computers using the internet pretending to be people than there was actually people using the internet.
that's nuts, man.
That's
They'll start
staggering.
scamming each other like a feedback loop.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
I approve.
I'm fucking going crazy. Ah! Ah!
Stop itching. Did he just get it on your legs and your hands?
Oh
Or did
no,
you
it's
spread
fucking
it?
everywhere. He sleeps with me, right? And he also
So he rubbed-
naps he sleeps with me and he naps in my bed. So my entire sheet was covered in fucking poison ivy oil.
Mm.
Oh, God damn it. So
I'm sure Sammy feels bad about it.
yeah, I'm sure he does. He's not a mean dog at all. He didn't do
No.
it on purpose. That's right, Sammy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Oh, yeah. So I don't know what we can do other than gatekeep and try and keep, anybody that isn't one of us out. And that includes the bots. And one of these days, there's going to be a MGTOW bot that emulates us so well that we're all going to like him and try and invite him to a meetup, but he'll never show up. You go into their town and try and have dinner with them, and they just won't be able to come. Oh, we've got guys like that already.
Looking at you, hamster.
Yeah. Oh, D-man, Sammy does not miss tacos. I make a pretty mean taco. I'm not as good as a middle-aged Mexican lady that lives in Laredo, but I make a pretty good taco. Let's see. We got a question here. Have any of you ever seen a fish get angry about not having a bicycle?
Can't say that I have.
We ought to put that out on poll in a poll question.
Yes, I could do that. Let's see. How do I do that? I did that a while back. Is it that button? No, it's not that button. Widgets, that button. New poll. There we go. Okay, we've got somebody wanting to come in. It's Dr. No Show Hamster.
I can't believe you stooped to the level you just did. I can't believe it. You bastard.
What level would that be, Hamster?
Not showing up.
Not showing up. That I don't know who you're talking about, man. It must be my my bot that keeps saying I'm showing up.
It wasn't you I'm talking about, Hamster.
Sure it wasn't.
I'm serious. I'll tell you offline who it was. I'm not going to say it online.
All right. Okay. Well, hey, Honeycomb.
What's up, Doc?
How's the Ridgeline? Ha!
You know, the Ridgeline business is good. They haven't multiplied. They're playing nice together.
They won't multiply.
Yeah.
You know why they won't multiply?
they're
Because
both
they're
females.
gay.
Yeah, that's why. Well, I try to keep my little Honda inside away from them so that, there's no foul play.
Don't want any incest in the family there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I don't want is a little CRV or, a little lipstick lesbian SUV show up or something like that out of the whole mix. That's what I don't need.
Boy, you should come to Colorado there, man. The lesbians all drive Subarus up here. A lot of Subarus.
I'm going to pass
so
on
true.
that. Thanks.
They do drive Subarus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Well, they're easy to spot. I mean,
I guess. But it seems like it's almost like part of the uniform of the lesbians. You got to have a Subaru.
You know what Subarus are known for?
What's that, Nukes?
Tranny problems.
Oh!
Oh, boy.
Brandon, you got poison ivy from Sammy. Just go ahead and blame the dog, why don't you?
I did.
You're out frolicking around at midnight under the moon, naked, through your poison ivy patch. We all know what happened. Come on.
Hey, I wear a loincloth for that. That's
okay. Well, all right. That's why you're. You wouldn't want poison ivy to get back in some certain parts. That'd be a bad thing.
That's right. That's why I don't wear the thong, even though it's popular these days.
You're gonna need an ocean of calamine lotion. Hey.
Yeah. How's your flying? You getting any better since the last time I saw you?
Why you didn't see me go through the freaking?
I did. I was right there. I was completely shocked that you were able to do that after seeing what led up to that, the prelude.
I know. Yeah. Well,
I was shocked. I noticed you finished on a high note.
I couldn't believe it either. It's like, what the hell? How did that happen? Yeah.
I was getting a little motion sick watching you fly. I'm like, if he doesn't straighten this out, this is going to end very badly. And it ended up ending on a good note.
And he went through sideways and pulled out and went up and didn't stall. And oh my God, it was great. I don't know if it'll let you stall in that little tool. It might. I'm not sure. God,
if memory serves, that's the second time Hamster has penetrated the arch.
Well, I have to admit something. I have to admit something to everybody. Before I put the video up, I did one trial run. I got through before.
Oh, 3 times.
At least 3 times. Yeah.
Keep going back to that hole.
Yeah. Well, it was big and blue, and it was just huge. Oh my God! And me and Brandon, did we ever go to that one place with we could look at the arch? I can't remember. That one park. We went there, I think.
We were gonna go there, but they were having that Formula One race, and we decided not to.
But I thought we won like the next year.
I've seen it before.
Oh, I have. Maybe I'm just thinking. Maybe I went down there by myself because it was kind of a rough little neighborhood down there.
Yeah.
A
Well, it's
little tough.
East St. Louis, man.
East St. Louis, little rough over there. Yeah. But no, that was fun, and thank you for the the brain waves on how to fly there, Honeycomb. I knew you could help.
I couldn't type fast enough.
And I couldn't read it because I was trying
to stay alive. I know.
Yeah. No, I mean that's Google Earth. I mean it's actually kind of fun. I was going to fly over Bryce Canyon, but I tried that and it's nothing but kind of it looks like a moonscape, really, right, from the air. When you get down to the into it, it's better. But
do they have a horse that can handle your girth?
No. Me and Brandon already discussed this. We're too big for the horses. No horse. But what might be interesting is seeing Jerry the Warhorse ride his own horse there. A horse is a horse, of course. So we'll see. Should be fun. We still have to decide on what we're going to eat.
Well,
and how we're going to get there.
Fucking sandwiches.
Well, I know that. Here's what maybe I'll do. Maybe when we get the bus and we get get on the road, I'll pull out a whole bag of freaking sandwiches from Firehouse. How's that? We'll eat the whole bag because they're good.
Do any of you believe him?
No, I don't even believe me.
These are fictional sandwiches.
That's right. It's it's an aspiration. It's a hope that we get a bag full of fresh sandwiches from Firehouse.
It's an empty promise.
Yep. It certainly is. Maybe I'll bring a bag of chips or something. It's like, then again, that's a long way. So I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out. I'm sure. I'm certain.
Later, Psyche Soap.
See you, Soap.
Now, if you were, a true MGTOW, you would bring a bag of dicks because Saunders is going to be riding in the.
Oh, jeez. With us. We have confirmed that he's going to be there the whole time. Can we make sure he has enough to drink so we don't have to listen to him? Maybe he'll take a nap. I'm kidding. We'll bring lots of corn for him. Cream corn. That's his favorite.
Oh yeah, he makes the cream corn himself.
Oh yeah. He's got his own factory in Nebraska.
Right, and apparently you should bring. Oops, not that one.
Oh,
jumping. A Camelback full of soup.
Ah, very good. Yum. Maybe I'll make it myself.
I bet you could. You're kind of the soup master.
I am. Well, I try.
Now the poll is up, and nobody has voted yet. So
I can see it, but I can't. For whatever reason, I can't vote, but I can see.
I don't see you.
It's in Hamster's. If you look in the lower left corner, it's in Hamster's next to his avatar, but it won't let me. When my cursor goes over it, it won't let me do anything.
Probably
because you're on here.
Probably because you're on here. Yeah, I would say.
It's possible.
Are you supposed to be able to click it on the screen, or does it show up on the side?
I don't know. I just found the button and I'm put it out there.
Because it's on the screen, but it's not on the side.
D-Man50 says there's no poll in chat. So
yeah.
Let me look at it.
Yeah, I see it in the live, but I don't see it popping up on the.
Yeah, it's on the screen, Brandon. It's in the lower left of the screen, but it doesn't show up in the chat. So.
Weird. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on YouTube either.
I don't see it. I'm not going to vote.
But let's see. Have you ever seen a fish get angry at not having a bicycle?
Well, we know the correct answer,
yes.
Don't we?
Yes. I think we do.
Well, always the answer is 3.
Absolutely.
Always.
Now, somebody was able to vote. Weird.
Huh.
You got one vote.
Yeah, I got a data point now. If I get 2 data points, I can make a line.
Ooh. Gnarly. Charlie.
Yeah.
I see Mr. Hemi Ford came in.
Mr. Hemi Ford.
Yeah.
Ah.
And D-Man 50. My very first sub.
What you drinking there, hamster?
Ice cold water.
Say it ain't so.
Delicious. Oh, it's hot as fuck out here. It's not too hot for beer, but it's hot. So it's been hot for the past 2-3 weeks here. So,
it's never too hot for beer. It's almost like it's summer, huh, hamster?
I know, it's crazy. It must be climate change and shit. Right. Ah.
Did you see they were calling those guys that invaded fucking Spain? They were calling them climate fucking refugees.
Climate refugees, really?
Yeah.
They were climbing the fence until it broke and it opened.
Yeah.
I just call them muzzies.
Everybody's saying that's the tiny hats doing that or something. That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that too. Well, there is video of Netanyahu telling Spain that since when Spain recognized Palestine as a country, that Spain was an enemy of Israel.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Spain denied them a port because they were transporting weapons to do their genocide with, and Spain was like, no, you can't stop here. So they're pissed about that too.
Yeah.
They're anti-Semitic, because they don't want to help them exterminate people.
But I was looking at this Spanish thing with the climate refugees. They're crossing the border from Morocco. Now, I don't know if you guys knew that, but Spain has a chunk of Morocco. That's where this is happening. So the climate in Morocco isn't going to be a lot different than it is in that Spanish port. Just saying. There ain't no difference.
It's not. And
I know it's horseshit, Brandon. I'm just, it's like, geez, climate.
Well,
come on.
I didn't spend a lot of time in Morocco, but I spent some time in the airport in fucking what's his name? Casablanca.
Oh
yeah. So that's my experience in Morocco, and it was a very nice airport.
Oh, I'm sure. It's probably a wonderful place. I mean, I don't know, but it seems like there's other hands that are pushing this stuff.
All right.
And I'm not saying who it is or anything, but I think we could probably point at a few people or countries.
Nation.
Yeah.
Well, gaslighting.
I mean, you guys are familiar with Cloward Piven, right?
Yes.
The whole idea is you get so many people on welfare that it bankrupts the system.
Yep.
And what do you think 60,000 refugees from Morocco would do to that small part of Spain? I mean, come on. It's crazy. But of course they're just saying, well, I'm in Spain now, I want to go to the mainland. It's like, well, nope. Not happening. Yeah. Adrian Blantz. Did they shoot Conan the Barbarian in Morocco? Is that where they shot it?
We shot it in Spain.
In Spain? Oh, in Spain. Oh, okay. That was a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, I was just looking at Rhoda there. We when I was in the squadron, we stopped in Rhoda a couple of times. That's a nice naval air station there. I really like Rhoda. So
that's on the Mediterranean side, probably, or Atlantic side.
It's kind of inland, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just an air station, not like a Navy pier or anything.
No, it's a naval air station. They when I was in, they were primarily flying P-3s out of there.
Okay. Sub
hunting
hunters.
areas. Yeah.
Yep.
But as we did, whenever we could get off the ship, we got off the ship and went and got booze.
Imagine that. Oh, geez, it's wait a minute. I'm looking it up on the map. I'm a geek when it comes to that kind of thing. I like it.
Frost is here now, and I've got
Hey, Frosty.
a new channel. I've got to fucking wrench him up now too.
Oh, okay. I see where it is. Yeah. It's actually on the Atlantic side, it looks like.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But
You're not that far away from the water.
I know, but
Yeah, but it's mostly, yeah, I get you. Yeah, I'm sure Spain is a wonderful place. Or could be. You got rid of all the damn communists.
I've been to Oklahoma.
Have you?
That's a good song.
Never been. That's a Three Dog Night?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, I've got this thing that lets me put up the link. It's showing as a fucking QR code.
Oh,
Let's see what it shows up when I paste it.
okay.
Nope, it's just showing up as a regular HTML. HTML. Fucking, it's a link.
HTML.
Yeah.
Hypertext markup language. For God's sake, man, don't you know anything?
Not really. I am a dumbass. I fucking got married twice. If y'all remember. What's up, Batty?
Batty. Hola.
How we all doing tonight? I heard you guys talking about Spain, or that little bit of property Spain owns in Morocco.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun times this Christmas, isn't it? Oh, over there it is.
Yeah. That's all left over from when the conquistadors kicked out the Moors. They've had that little bit of the world for a long time.
I love how everybody uses well, we live in modern times now. We don't have to look at history and judge people based on that stuff. No.
Nah.
They're different now. We're more progressive. Yeah, we're smarter. Whatever.
Yeah,
Also heard today they raised the draft.
Shit on their fucking history.
What's that, Nukes?
El Cid would
out.
fucking beat the fuck out of all these modern Spanish people.
I heard on something today they raised the draft age to 42 years old. They're gonna go
I thought
to
it was
Iran.
45. Yeah, I thought it was 45.
It used to be 35.
In
They
Spain?
raised it
Or?
to 42.
No,
No, in
America.
America.
Oh, here? Really?
Now, what's the age of the reserves? Because the reserves used to be, you can join up to 45. Did they change that
I
age?
don't know.
Well, the driver's license automatic kick to put people in the selective service. Yeah, I thought it was going to happen at the end of July, but it's actually the end of December now. So there's discussions about they've got a contract out right now for AI companies to develop an AI that could institute a draft, and the proposal is supposed to be available as soon as possible. I think it was drafted 2 weeks ago to have a proposal as ASAP.
Yes, I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, this is government, though, so ASAP could be 5 years. God only knows.
Well,
Now,
we just need to put Kathleen Sebelius in it. She'll get it done.
Well, you got midterms coming up here, so there's going to be a lot of radical everything going on, and based on what happens after the midterms, who gets in, we'll see what happens then. I mean, does that make sense or no?
Yeah, it does.
Well, we just got this radical Marxist got nominated for a spot here in Colorado. Some chick never worked a day in her life, always been in government, and now she wants to tell us how to run the world. It's
Trust fund
fantastic.
kids know better than you, man. Haven't you
Of
learned
course,
it
they're smarter than we are. Come on, man.
yet? No. No.
Let them worry about it. We can just drink beer and watch hee-haw on TV. We're just a bunch of stub-humping hicks.
Yeah.
Well, they've increased the age of Social Security now. I think if you don't retire, is it this year? Or was it last year? 67 is the new age. So
Oh God damn it!
um,
I gotta work another 5 years. Great.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to go up a quarter of a year every year for the next 10 years.
That means
So
I'll never catch up. Great. Wonderful.
I think that's exactly where they want that to
Yeah. I
mature.
want you to die before they take any money. Bastard.
Well, we'll
And
be
for
on the
what? It's not like they can pay off the debt. It's like $40 trillion right now, and
well
that's not
as we
going to cover
continue
that.
as we continue to not have children that can service Social Security as
Mhm.
Gen Xers and then to millennial kids retire. You know, it was when we first started Social Security, what was it, 50 to 1 paying in to one retiree on Social Security from FICA. So
Yeah,
now it's something like 3 to 1.
Well, gentlemen, we're just gonna have to be more clever than the Social Security system, now, aren't we? Time to get clever, boys.
well, it's always been a Ponzi scheme.
Of course. Of course it is.
I don't know, man. My mom, she wrote that shit real nice and comfortable all the way to the end.
My mother did too. Oh boy, did she get money. Yeah.
I'm glad she got a piece of that action.
Yeah. Well, I heard today, I was listening to some. You guys ever turn on the radio? Honeycomb, you might turn on the radio. I don't know. You guys?
You know what? Probably about a year and a half ago, I just went straight to listening off my phone and have everything recorded on my phone. So,
Oh, I see.
I used to. The radio was. I was on a long trip. The radio was on.
Yeah, Saturday mornings is usually that's where they put the paid for advertisements and the 30-minute lectures on finances, all that shit. Because it's a 30-minute block of time. They they make a few $100 on it, and nobody cares, right? Nobody listens to Saturday morning radio. It's usually not happening. But there was this financial person on there was saying that, and I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a upper income limit to Social Security contributions. Did you guys know that?
Mm-hmm, there is.
Like if you make over like $200,000 a year, you don't pay any more in. It's like, what the fuck does that? How does that work?
I thought it was 179. Well, I could
it's
be wrong about this.
It's somewhere.
It's 179. Yeah. So I hit that limit regularly. By the end of the year, I'm not being charged any FICA.
That's crazy. Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want the government taking any more money than they can, or they have to, but they will. That. But it seemed to me that people should. Why don't people pay according to their income?
Well, I wish I could just opt out. I wish I could opt out right now, and they could keep everything they've charged me up to this point, and let me keep for the remainder of the 10 years or 5 years that I work. Let me keep that money going forward. But anyway, there is an upper limit. You're absolutely right. I can't remember what it is, but
it's a pretty big number. Yeah.
Well,
at the end of the year, go ahead.
I mean, you got to keep class envy alive. They brought that over from Europe in the 90s.
Is that? Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They brought that over in the 50s.
Yeah, I don't know how that makes any sense, but you got the Democrats always talking about, hosing the rich or whatever. Why don't you just make them pay Social Security on their income? I mean,
you're asking them to pay into that stuff, and all their
that's true.
Donors. The donor class is like, you put some fucking limits on this shit, guys.
Yeah, we don't want to pay that for those po people. Oh my God.
Let me ask you guys a question here. Do you think taxing rich people more money really works? Because usually when you do that, if I own a business, let's say I own a gas station, and everybody's like, "Hey, Batty, you make a lot of money. You got a nice house and a nice car. We should charge you more taxes." I'll say, "Okay." Then you're going to bitch at me because I just raised the prices of all the cigarettes and sodas in my gas station. I'm not paying that shit. You are.
Yeah, exactly.
We are. Yeah.
Well, a guy I used to work with, a very smart guy. You know, he watched all the financials, and he always said to me, "Hamster, corporations don't pay taxes. You do. They just pass the cost on to your ass, just like the tariffs and just like the rest of all this shit. We get to pay for it."
Yes, we do.
The funny thing I'm seeing these days is a lot of these places are asking you to make a donation to charity, and they turn around and take your money and donate it to charity, and then take the tax write-off.
Tax deduction, yeah.
And,
Well, they have other tax deductions too. If you want to do business in a state, they'll leverage states against each other, and a lot of times they'll get 10 free years of no state taxes. They'll get all kinds of county taxes removed. They get sweetheart deals. Southwest Airlines, if they fly 4 flights a day out of Birmingham, pays 0 in taxes, but you're getting charged taxes. When you buy that Southwest Airlines ticket, you're paying state taxes. Well, that money's not going to the state. I don't know where it goes.
I just took out my retirement, right? And they took 1/3 of that. 1/3.
Whoa.
It was insane.
I don't know what the answer is, but all I know is
That's the last they'll ever get out of me, though.
when's the last time a poor guy got you a job or hired 20
0.
men? Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know the answer for the balance of incomes, but you do have to give people with the means an incentive to come in. Now, I live near, I've already said it many times, I live near Fort Bragg in that area of North Carolina. And I've watched a lot of industries come to, the surrounding areas. We were supposed to have a global hub for, shipping for, with airplanes. And a Mercedes-Benz wanted to open up, but they rely so much on that military money. They don't want any other industry, or maybe there's other reasons. And I've watched them all go to South Carolina because they wanted to charge them too much tax. It's just basically saying, pay it. It's just their way of running them off. And it's just sad because I would love to have a job, $18 an hour, pushing a broom around, Mercedes-Benz factory. I'll clean the toilets. Put me in the union, man. I'll make that money.
Well, part of the appeal of South Carolina is I don't think they are unionized. So, like, I know Boeing built a plant there for their 787 Honeycomb. You probably know that. And they did that to get out of Washington State because of the unions, mainly, and the high wages, right? They wanted to cut their costs. So they built a plant in South Carolina.
Well, I know Alabama's a right to work state, but we do have unions here. And you have the choice in a right to work state to be in the union.
Sure.
But let's be honest, you don't have a choice if you really if you're working there. They'll make it very painful for you if you don't pay monthly dues. So there are states, when I worked for NetJets after I left the airlines before I went back to the utilities, they're out of Ohio, and they have a Teamsters union for the pilots, and you were forced to pay dues, but it wasn't a right to work state. So from day one, you didn't get a choice. They just took union dues right out of your paycheck.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
when Beechcraft lost NetJets, that was the fucking final nail in the coffin that killed us. We had a huge contract with NetJets, almost $4 billion. And NetJets, back when everybody was down on business aviation, and NetJets just fucking canceled that contract, and they fucking closed the doors in 2 weeks.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah, when you have big contracts like that, they can make your day or they can ruin you completely.
Yeah. So.
But about incentives, when I was a kid, the state where I lived in had all these incentives to bring business in, right? Okay, kind of makes sense, right? You people jobs and all that. Well, they brought in this big True Value hardware warehouse, right? Warehouses are nice because they're cheap, and they really, it was, seemed like a decent place. It's clean. There's no chemicals or all that shit. The fucking day their tax incentives ran out, they moved the fucking warehouse. The day. People went, they said, you don't have a job anymore. And the next day it was closed. They moved all their shit to a different state. It's like, oh my God. So, well, I guess it was good for a while.
There are ways to get out of pensions when you're in a non-regulated environment. There down here where I'm at, across the river in Georgia. I'm half a mile from Georgia, and they have a GP paper mill. They had decided they wanted to get rid of the pensions and the union, and the only way they could do that was to shut the place down for a year. But during that process, Georgia said, "You signed a deal with us. You pay taxes whether you're in business or not." So that it was cheaper for them to pay the taxes monthly for a
Mhm.
year to avoid the pension and contracts, and then start operations back up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there are very smart people, and they know these tax laws and shit, and they're trying to make more profit for their company. I get it, but it's mean. It's not nice to put people out of work for sure.
Well, it's
But
unconscionable in my opinion, but
no, I totally agree. But I used to be I'm sorry, Brandon. It's your
I was just going to say, let's steer the conversation back to MGTOW, and
Okay.
right.
I have a MGTOW take on how you can get out of these taxes, and
Okay.
it's
How's
one
that?
that I'm working on right now. I've got my tax filing in with the IRS. I started a church.
Wow, that's good.
That's great.
It's fucking legal. It's only me, but it's a church.
For
And
real?
as soon as I get some other steps taken, and I'll let you guys know on this as I move along with it, I can ordain people, and I'm not going to charge any money for this. And you can have a church at your property if you dedicate that church or the property to religion. And that means in this day and age that if you make a broadcast and you're talking about your view on God, you're having religious, you're using your property for religious purposes, and you can get out of property tax that way.
Jeez.
I'm itching to know more.
I was actually going to do that myself.
Well, right this week it's the supper of the sacred poison ivy, and no, actually, Smurf, I've got the 501. I've got the IRS documentation. I've got the IRS documentation, but there's some extra steps I have to do for Kansas. But the IRS part of it's done, Smurf.
There are other ways to obtain tax exempt status other than a 501c3. I don't know what they are exactly, but that's what I hear.
Well, in the state of Alabama, and of course we're first at the alphabet and last at everything else, so take this with a grain of salt. After 65, you don't pay property taxes anymore. In addition to that, you're allowed one homestead exemption, so that you file with the county. So there are small things you can do, but I mean, our property taxes are really low to start with.
Yeah, but it is nice. Like my old boss at the last job, he's a wounded veteran. And in Texas, apparently, you don't pay property tax if you're a wounded vet.
Nope.
How about that?
That's true. And your kids get free tuition.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't know about that.
Cool.
That's the way America should run. Yeah.
Damn right. I mean, if you sacrificed or put your life on the line for this country, I think you deserve everything.
Sure. And
Well,
if
if we're
it's
giving
so
people-
small, I'd be willing to, chip in for that, but not for the others who are draining the system.
That's
Nope.
right. I mean, of the people that would deserve it, they front of the line.
It gives a
Absolutely.
greater incentive for men to step up and, want to do dangerous work like that.
Right. Well, it does. It gives an incentive, down the line. If you are injured, maybe your kids will be taken care of, down the line if you're not there to do it, or maybe for yourself if you're alive. Yes, I agree. That would be a wonderful incentive.
Sure. I mean, don't forget, some guys, they like that kind of work,
But I mean, we could take even all veterans who I guess have served, last whatever, how many years, it would be a freaking rounding error in the budget to give them gold-plated everything. Literally a rounding error. So
Well,
I think they deserve
I don't. Yeah, so the folks that came before, well, myself, I know that True Blood was about the same time I was in the Navy, and uh, I the way I look at that, and Batty may have been just before us. If you're a conscripted Vietnam vet before, I feel like we owe you the world.
it. Yep.
Whereas for my generation, I don't feel like they owe me the world.
No,
Service related stuff's fine, checkups are fine, but I don't really feel like they owe me anything. I didn't get a Purple Heart. I didn't get shot. I had a pretty comfortable life. Combat for me was air conditioning and coffee on a submarine.
Jeez.
So,
Oh no.
that's terrible. Um, yeah, it's terrible. So, I
That's
mean, I
awful.
don't feel like they owe me anything.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm the same way. When I joined, there was no conscription; it was volunteer service.
True.
Me and all the other guys from high school, it seemed like we all showed up at the recruiter's office the same day and pushing everybody, get out of my way, I'm going in.
Yeah.
And no matter whatever I did, I don't feel like anybody owes me nothing because hell, I wanted to do what I did. So
no, the Hatch Act is pretty nice, though. As far as paying for the medicine, that's really fucking a good deal.
Do you have to have TRICARE for that? Do you have to have TRICARE for that, or is that just something
No.
that's for any vet?
Any vet, and because of when we served, you don't get means tested. Like the VA will means test you. You are automatically enrolled at the lowest possible rate because of when you served under the Hatch Act.
Really?
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
This is for vets only, a vets only kind of deal.
Yeah,
huh?
vets only. So
Gotcha.
I get all my
What do you go
prescriptions.
How do you go about doing that?
You should just be able to, reference your DD 215.
Well, I don't take any medications, but I know vets that do, and I don't know that they know about this.
Yeah, it's. I think the law is about 15 years old now. I think it passed under. I think it passed under Obama.
Wow.
I will talk to some of my vet buddies to let them know, because some of the guys that work with us, they still use TRICARE. Some of them don't. Some of them lose TRICARE when they go to Medicare or Medicare. I mean, 60, 65, whatever the age frame is where they have to kind of they're forced onto that plan.
Right.
And they have medications, and they're worried about all of that. And I'm like, yeah, because they were using TRICARE. I don't think that they know anything about this. I'll let them know.
Right. This is through the VA. This isn't TRICARE. TRICARE is, you can think about TRICARE as giving you access to active duty hospitals and insurance, right? Whereas this is strictly through the VA and through the VA system.
hopefully you get an American doctor.
Well, if you were in Minnesota, your chances would have been pretty good. So
I have an anecdote for one of the last times I went to the VA hospital, if you'd like to hear it.
Sure.
All right. So I had a job where I was doing construction. I had swamp ass a little too much, and I got a bad rash. So I needed something more than whatever Walmart pharmacy had. So I walk in there, and the guy had one of those wraps around his head. I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to say nothing too bad. But he said, please? I said, I have a rash on my ass, and it's really bad. He goes, I don't understand. Please? I said, I have a rash on my ass. It's right around my ass. I don't. I said, God damn it. I stood up. I undid my pants, pulled them down. I did an Ace Ventura. I said, I have a rash on my ass. And he goes, okay, I understand now. I get you cream.
Oh, man. You gave him the full Monty there, Batty.
Yeah. Well, he's a doctor. I'm sure it's not the first one he's seen.
Probably not the first one he's seen. Yeah, that's true.
But I just
Yeah.
hated he couldn't understand basic English. It just, oh God, it made me so mad.
Yeah, Grinch is saying that if you have a 0 rating, like if you had anything, say you fucking were around a loud fan your entire fucking Navy career or whatever you did in the military, you can go in there and say, I've had this hearing loss that since the Navy. And in my case, I'm actually fucking deaf from it, but but you don't have to have any type of disability to get onto the, like Grinch is saying, you can have a 0 rating. You just have to have it service connected. I left
Well,
the
Dad
Navy
was
30% fucking reduction in hearing and didn't fucking really think about it for 40 fucking years. Well, 30 years. And it wasn't until my hearing started fucking really going away that I went and saw the VA about it. They gave me hearing aids. They're nice.
Cool.
Dad is in the same boat. I mean, Vietnam in country, and he was part of a CB detachment. They had firearms and cannons and big guns on the ship going off all the time, and he had real bad hearing because of that. And it was top of the line hearing aids for him. Every year, I mean, if he needs a new pair, every year they'll give him another pair.
Yeah.
Really?
These aren't cheap. They aren't cheap either. I mean, these are you'd spend $3,500 to $5,000, on this set.
Oh, he deserves it.
Well, he's also deaf, and I do like, when I communicate, I don't have to use sign language, so he doesn't know sign language.
Do you think the VA would be willing to, if your hearing loss is bad enough, do you think they'd be willing to do work with a cochlear implant?
I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, I wouldn't try to give you advice on what the VA will and will not do. I do not know.
Okay.
From my experience with the VA, they will, at this point, if they're not capable of doing it, they'll refer you to a specialist outside of the VA. But what I've heard is it just takes forever to get those, appointments and referrals and everything, taken care of.
Okay.
So, another thing that guys can do who are not, part of the military to avoid, to drop their tax burden down, and also to stop feeding the system that supports all this gynocentrism. And that's one thing that Rusty touched on, and Frost made a great video about it yesterday. And that's just fucking not spend your money on bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You've all heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide what is a want and what is a fucking need. Obviously, food, water, shelter, those are needs. You've got to fucking have a place to sleep. You've got to have clean drinking water. You've got to have a fucking place to, you got to have food to eat. But what do you really need in your life, and how far are you willing to fucking live by your principles? What type of fucking shit don't you useless crap don't you need in your life? And that answer is going to only be answered by you.
Are you talking about spending money you don't have to impress friends that hate you?
Definitely, I'm talking about spending money you do have. One thing you can do not to feed the system is to never fucking go in debt.
Yeah.
Buy everything with cash.
Oh, I agree with that one. Yeah.
Yep.
We all fucking bitch about Dave Ramsey, but he's right about that.
Oh yes, absolutely.
He's 100% right about that. Pay your fucking debts off. You'll hear stories. Like when I was a kid, I read a book about fucking Rockefeller. And Rockefeller got rich by spending other people's money.
Yeah.
In other words,
got got other people to invest in his shit. Yeah, and he got the
Right.
profits. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he didn't fucking go in debt for that. He sold shares in his company.
Yep.
So you don't get rich by fucking spending money to get things you don't need. Do you need a fucking $75,000 car to go to your fucking job? No, you don't.
No.
You know,
And the way they're making it now, you got to fucking rent your heater and your steering wheel. It's just crazy. It's getting nuts.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'm ever going to buy another new car. It's like after.
Well, I'm regretting the new one that I bought.
What'd you get?
Well, it was this last Ridgeline. It was meant to replace the Gen 1 that I had, and I like the Gen 1 better. This vehicle, I've had the air conditioning go out. They've changed the way they build cars.
Yeah.
And they're not built to be reliable, and they're not built to last in any terms. They're meant to be a maintenance queen, and I have learned this with the air conditioning system on the Honda. First off, the build quality is not as good, and we're talking a 2006 versus a 2024. And the air conditioners went out twice inside of 2 years completely because they use GM seals now. They don't use O-rings, and they're little plastic cups, and they're easy to cut when you put them together, and they're meant to wear and then leak the Freon out. And
That's not good.
It's a complete and utter disaster. They had a perfectly good system, and they've gotten away from it. So it's not just the services, like Hamster said, you're going to charge you to use any of the items in your car in the future. But recently, they've tried to outlaw any cars that were older than 2010. So that puts a truck and a work car in that window because they're both in that age range. And, they want you to buy something new that they can tax you on, put you into a loan that, is going to be in the shop all the time. And to top it off, the manufacturers don't want you to work on your own car. They want you to take it to the shop. And there are still states, I think it's not 18, but somebody mentioned 18 the other day, of states that are still trying to outlaw tools so that you can't work on your own appliances or vehicles.
Yeah, or avoids the warranty if you work on it yourself.
It's
a lot of these young people can't freaking work on shit anyway.
Well, when we grew up, our dads, that we weren't rich. None of the people I grew up around were rich. You fixed everything, you fabricated everything yourself, and you weren't paying someone to do it. So you learned how to do those things. But when the last church I was at, the pastor, his boys, I was teaching them how to work on, they were getting of driving age, and I was teaching them how to work on their car. They couldn't name any of the tools, and I asked them about that, and they said, "Well, our dad doesn't do that sort of thing. He just takes the car to somebody and lets them fix it." And I'm like, "Well, that's gonna cost you a lot of money, and you'd be better off learning to do it yourself and pay for tools and do it yourself." But their dad did not grow up in that environment, and he didn't teach his son, and now he's not teaching his sons, and it's a snowball effect as more dads don't know how to work on things or being removed from their sons or daughters' lives, that they don't teach their children how to do those things.
No, you're absolutely right. I think I can speak for Brandon, and I guess you as well. I grew up poor. We didn't have nothing. So if you had to fix your car, you had to fix your car. You didn't bring it into a mechanic. Or you a local guy that knew what he was doing, gave him a 6-pack or whatever, $20.
My first car I got out of the junkyard. I went down to the junkyard guy, and he had a reputation for being honest. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be working hay this summer. When I get done working this summer, I'm going to come back and see you. Can you pick me out a vehicle that I'll be able to fix? And I don't know nothing." And by God, he did. Mr. Herford, God rest his soul, but Mr. Herford fucking set me up. And I had the Ford version of the Ridgeline. I hate to admit it. I had got a 1964 Ranchero.
Wow. That's a
But-
classic, man.
I bet you wished you still had it.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yep.
I was, I was a fucking dumbass and tried to fucking Dukes of Hazzard it and with
Well,
a fucking straight six. But the hood,
Whoa.
the engine bay on that car was so fucking spacious. You could sit on the fucking wheel well and work on the engine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I
they were
didn't even have
huge.
to take my carburetor off to rebuild it.
Yeah, my ex-in-laws, the ex's parents, they had an old Ford Falcon, and they gave us the Ford Falcon, and it's like what I would give to have that fucking car today.
Yeah.
What the hell was I thinking? So I traded it in for some piece of shit. It's like no. Should have kept that car. Ran, probably still be running. They just ran forever. It probably would have rusted away, but it'd still be running probably.
I regret selling my 1988 Oldsmobile Delta 88. That thing was great.
Oh, those are
I
great
never
cars. Yeah.
sold that.
Yeah. We were talking, was it last week? Maybe, I don't know. If Volkswagen, they're in deep shit. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but they're on the verge of really having a problem. If they would just make Beetles again, like the real ones, just make them. Figure out the crash shit and whatever the hell they have to do to meet the guidelines. They would sell them by the millions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Hamster. There's a vehicle that was a compressed air car, and Airbus was making the tanks. I think, is it Sia, or they're an Indian company. They bought the rights to it.
It was Tata.
And then they couldn't import them in the U.S. because it'll make crash testing because it's built so lightweight. Now you don't have air conditioning, but you have a generator. You have heat in the wintertime, so roll a window down. So they built this thing ultra lightweight, and they're using it for service vehicles. It's like 400 kilometers on 3 of these tanks, compressed air, and it's not the high pressure compressed air like you would need if you were doing over 3,000 pounds. So I don't know that they sell a version like that, but they may. But you need a special air compressor to do that. They were saying it have an onboard air compressor that could kind of pump up the tanks as you were driving down the road. And it was going to be essentially what you were saying, a modern day Beetle with an air compressed engine with 3 of these Airbus composite tanks. And great idea. You're never going to get one in the U.S. because it won't meet crash test. Okay, which do you care about, the environment or my safety? You'll let me ride a motorcycle, but you won't let me drive this thing. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I looked into buying one of those Kai cars from Japan.
From Japan, yeah.
Yeah, and you can import them, and some states let you drive them on the highways, and others don't. Unfortunately, I live in a state that will not allow you to drive that on the highway. I don't need a big fucking pickup.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling a fucking horse trailer. I need something I can put my tools on and and my firewood every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who could even buy a new truck these days? I mean, come on. $75,000 or whatever the hell they are. It's like, come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Toyota keeps touting this truck they're going to import into the U.S. For $15,000, and it's a baseline truck, and you build it out, and the most expensive version is like $24,000 when you build it out, and it's a lot of what we're talking about here, but they still won't let them import it.
They buy them in other places in the world. The vehicle they want to bring in, and you can bring them in after they're 25 years old.
That's the problem. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
they got rid of old cars in Europe just recently, and they didn't do it through legislation because the government would look bad. They did it through insurance, and the insurance companies wouldn't insure cars that were over a certain age. And I kind of figured that was what was going to happen here, but our legislatures tried to legislate cars older than 2010. Well, that's failed. So now that that's failed, I wouldn't be surprised if the insurance game is back on the table, where they'll decide we can't even insure these vehicles, therefore we can't tag them, and thusly we can't drive them.
Yeah, it's that's crazy. I mean, I like my old hoopty. I like my 2008, and I didn't even have to get a freaking air inspection or exhaust inspection this year. How about that? So
Driving a classic.
save me. Well, it's not quite a classic, but it is what 18. It'll be 20 years old in a couple of years. So you know.
Yep, two more years.
Yep. It'll be 20, but I think an antique is what 25 maybe.
Oh, okay.
Not sure. I'll drive it till the wheels fall off. I don't give a shit. And then I'll try to find another one, but that'll almost be impossible probably.
I was visiting Hamster in St. Louis, and I farted in the car, and
You did.
He had a little bit of a temper tantrum.
I
And I
did.
come back in the next time, and there's a piece of his trim is hanging down. And he's like, "True Blood, you bastard! That fart fucking knocked the trim off my car."
And you knocked the headliner off too. You just melted the freaking glue, and it just fell down. It's amazing. And you almost killed your own dog with that fart. Don't even lie to me. I was there.
Well, you apparently have never taken a road trip with Sammy. Sammy
No.
Sammy matches me fart for fart.
Ooh, damn. Is that after he has tacos?
Well, Sam eats what I eat. That's the thing.
That's the problem, yeah. Well,
it's not a problem. That's how dogs and humans have been getting along for a lot longer than we've been buying them fucking specialty food.
well, yeah.
That's right. We're talking about you. Yeah.
But if Volkswagen brought back just the Beetle, put the safety shit in there, and got the emission shit going in there, they would sell millions and millions and millions of those cars. I have no question. Just like it happened, right after World War II. I mean, they sold millions of the damn things.
That's right, Hamster. Tell them how it is.
Hello, Sammy. It was actually a fantastic story, that whole Volkswagen thing. The rubble of war, and I think it was the British that actually started up the VW factory again, because nobody else wanted it. It was, obviously after the war, but I think they stopped making the. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's where I was headed with that. As Mexico City, you could still get them up to what, 86? It was 80.
I think it was even later than that. Yeah, I think they made them in Brazil up until maybe even into the 90s. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, pollution. But I mean, Brazil, they use mostly alcohol anyway, right? So, I don't know. Is that it's not as polluting or is it worse than gas?
Well, you don't have computers that you can turn off and shut people's car off, as you see fit if you're the government. Can't have
remotely.
A simple car. Yeah.
Yeah. That GPS you have in your car? Guess what, kids? The government runs that. Hate to tell you. Oh God. Yeah, it's crazy. But hopefully what's that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say hopefully my car will hang on a while. I just put another set of tires on, so hopefully I get at least another 50 or 60,000 on it. We'll see.
Well, it sounded like you're getting all the good out of it.
Well, it is a Honda built back in 2008. So I think they did a pretty good job. They still had the 2.4 liter. Apparently they got rid of that, and they got some 1.5 liter turbo thing now that blows up, all that kind of shit.
I don't trust any of the turbo engines.
I had a turbo 1.8 in a Beetle, in a new Beetle. And son of a bitch, did that thing go? Oh my God. That was a rocket. That was a fun car.
Yeah, those old air cooled fucking boxer engines were fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, you could take it out, overhaul it yourself with just hand tools. It's like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I mean, my old man had them. He loved them. He had a super. I think he had a Super Beetle, a big yellow Super Beetle.
Pretty good too. I had in my in my ultralight, I had a fucking what they called a half VW in there. You just take off 2 of the fucking jugs.
Really?
I had, yeah, the ultralight I built was off of the plans. It was called a Legal Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
For any of you who want to look that up.
Was it a 2-cylinder, you're saying? Or?
I turned a 4-cylinder into a 2-cylinder.
No shit.
Wow. With fucking, there was fucking instructions on how to do it. It was dead fucking simple.
Wow.
Well, there's aircraft flying right now. Sonex, they essentially use the VW. They redesigned it to their specs and they sell the parts. But there's a huge aftermarket for the Beetle and that engine. So
yeah,
they'll never not have parts if you have one.
Well, that engine eventually turned into the 1.8. It started out as what, 900, I guess, or whatever. Then they jacked it to a 1.6 at some point. Then I think they used the same basic idea for the 1.8. And that's the one I had, 1.8 turbo. It's fucking great engine. But it was water cooled, right? So they had to redesign all that stuff. But.
Well, my problem with Volkswagen is they put plastic parts all throughout the engine compartment now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just no bueno to me.
Yeah. I found out that plastic thing under your car in the front of it, it cost me like $300 to replace the fucking thing. And, it's like, God, bless America. But, and on that car, it played an integral part of the cooling system. Yep. It was without that. That's the reason why the oil filter would get melted to the freaking engine, because it wasn't getting cooled properly. So
wow.
Put that on, and it was. I mean, literally, you could burn yourself on the damn hood on that car. Once you had that thing installed, it was perfectly fine. So there's a reason some engineer thought it through.
Do we have to start making our own cars in our backyards now? I mean, is this what it's coming to? Everybody's going to start a foundry and everybody starts making parts and building their own cars? Probably.
Well, you saw the guy out in, is it Colorado, that he built his own, he used a diesel engine from a Volkswagen and he made his own car. He's been on Tucker. I can't remember his name. He ran for office just recently. He built his own 2-seat car that gets 100 miles per gallon and it does 0 to 60 inside of 3.5 seconds. It's a diesel. He just pulled a used. Yeah, he's built other cars too, and you remember McCormick, Cash and McCormick, or whatever the TV show was in the 80s, or where the convict and the judge, and he had that Coyote car, the kit car. It looks a lot like that kit car in ways of aerodynamics, and he's had it for over 10, 15 years now. And that motor was a 100,000+ mile motor when he put it in. He built his own car, got his own VIN number. I'm not saying that I can do that, but he did.
All I know is that everybody who makes anything to where a car can run on water, they kind of retire permanently.
Yeah, they off you.
The guy did that. They killed him for that.
Matter of fact, remember that shooting up in Buffalo, New York, when that black security guard got deleted? He had videos on YouTube showing where he converted his carburetor so his truck would run on water. So there's a lot of people running around talking about. I mean, that didn't seem like an organic, racist shooting. Was that actually, was it MK Ultra stuff where they said you need to take this guy out and make it look like something else because he made a truck run on water.
Well, how do you make a combustion engine run on water? How does that work?
I think it had to
Simply
do with
what you do is you get two cells and you add electricity to it, and it separates the oxygen and the hydrogen.
Sure, yeah.
So it just turns water into gas, and out of the exhaust comes water. So it's like they can't have people running around on water. That shit's free. It falls out of the sky every once in a while.
Well, that's the hydrogen cell thing they're trying to. I think they've made them I just don't think they are going commercial with it.
Yeah,
Well,
under the Bush administration, they did have hydrogen cars, but they were using, basically like a dive tank. I don't know the best way to say it, but they'd use compressed hydrogen for that to make it so nobody would think, but you can make this shit at home. They just don't want you to.
Right.
I
And
heard
don't
it
listen
was
to
a membrane
Mythbusters.
that separated the hydrogen.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to step on you. But
Yeah.
I was watching Mythbusters, and they didn't use enough electricity to make enough oxygen and hydrogen separation.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, it's a fail. You can't run your car on this stuff." No, you can add just more electricity, and you can put, you don't want to use salt, but you can use basically salt water, but you want to use something with a little bit more acid in there to speed the process up.
Well, the two guys that got off for having and their houses gone through and all their materials taken, they had built cars that essentially turned water into hydrogen, and the cars ran on it. So I didn't know about the guy in Buffalo, but it's not surprising.
Arvero says the German subs are hydrogen powered. Yeah, Bill Gates supposedly has a new yacht, and all yachts, they all have their own water. I forgot. You guys in the Navy would know better what I'm talking about, where they separate the salt.
Desalinization.
Yeah, they process their own water, and if you can process your own water, you can make your own hydrogen. So Bill Gates has
Well, we did.
a yacht that runs.
Yeah, we
on
did make.
hydrogen.
Yeah, we made hydrogen on our submarine when we made oxygen. So what we did is we made salt water into fresh water with the 10K max steam evaporator or the 2K steel, and then we took that water and we put it through our oxygen generator, which stripped the oxygen and the hydrogen, and we vented the hydrogen overboard, and that's why we called it the bomb. So when you lit the bomb off, you were making oxygen, and it had 3 locations it went to throughout the ship, but it couldn't make enough oxygen to keep up with the demand on the submarine, so we had candles if we had to make more. Apollo used a hydrogen cell to make electricity years ago, and they've used it on buses, and I understand they are using it on some submarines, but I don't know how that process works. I've not looked into it.
Well, the stuff on the Apollo program that has been on all kinds of other spaceships as well, they used a hydrogen fuel cell, and that's a pretty interesting technology, but it's it also requires heat. And another thing they had on Apollo that they don't talk about a lot, everybody's like, how can you run the moon buggy on car batteries? Well, they didn't. They used explosive batteries.
Yeah, you're not running on acid lead batteries. No. No. Not in that temperature.
A company down where I grew up, or close to it, called Eagle Pitcher, and they built all the batteries for the Apollo program down there. And these batteries they have an explosion that goes off inside the battery, and it generates electricity somehow. I don't know how it fucking works, but it's an electrochemical process, a pretty fucking powerful one.
Well, some of that stuff's toxic. You don't want to play with it.
Oh, fuck it. But, if you absolutely need the power right now and you've got and you don't have a working generator, what are you going to do? You can't burn air. You can't have an internal combustion engine on a spaceship.
Right.
That'd be tough. Where are you going to put the exhaust? That'd be a difficult problem. But of course, if you were burning hydrogen, it would just turn into water. You just drink it. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Right?
There was also the guy that made the carburetor get like 100 miles a gallon by vaporizing or atomize something with the fuel. Get 100 miles a gallon.
I think that's mostly mythology. I don't believe that.
Hey, Vero, you're talking about the NiCads, and they had NiCad batteries on there as well, and those were for fucking just your running your instruments and stuff. They weren't. They didn't use those to restart the fucking turbo pumps or anything like that. I'm talking or run the. Fuck, I can't.
Oh, you're talking about on the spacecraft. They had the the batteries that
Yeah.
Had the
dry stuff.
electrolyte
Yeah,
stored
yeah.
away, and then they'd blow it up, and then the electrolyte would flood in, and then you'd have a battery. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna back out. Thanks for having me.
On the lunar
All right,
escape
Duke.
pod. Yeah.
Take it easy.
All right, Nukes, take it easy.
All right.
But I don't know. Fish brought up the 100-mile carburetor. I think that was horseshit. I don't think that's true. Because if you look at the way, if you can make it efficiently combust, and efficiently would be even 50%, you'd be doing good. But I don't know what is the number that combusts? 30% maybe.
Well, Hamster, how about this? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here. What
Yeah.
speed was this guy going at? Because depending on the engine to weight ratio, once you get something in motion, tends to stay in motion. Would that lower fuel consumption?
I suppose it would. Yeah.
So, I mean, can you? I don't know. Would you call that fudging a test or not? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the mythology of that, I'm sure you guys probably heard it, is that this guy did something with his carburetor, got a patent, and then GM bought the carburetor and it never really got released because it's blah, 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 or Standard Oil or somebody bought the carburetor. And I don't think it's true.
If somebody did a cannonball run across the country with 100 miles a gallon carburetor, then I'll start paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, there's really, maybe it's true. I don't know. What do you guys think, Brandon? I don't know. I think it's probably horseshit.
I haven't played with this stuff. I couldn't even begin to give any good input.
Well, every time I hear these claims about, like the water, running your car off of water, I always go back to Maxwell's equations. How can you, because it takes energy to, like, if you've got water, hydrogen bonds are pretty fucking strong bonds, and it takes more energy to strip those,
break it, separate it, yeah,
to separate it, your hydrogen and oxygen, than you get back when you burn the hydrogen and oxygen. That's why I've never believed any of that, because your engine efficiency is not very good. I believe the best engines out there, the very best, which are large fucking two-stroke engines that they have in the fucking cargo ships, those are the most efficient engines out there. And they're only sitting at about 40%. So where's the extra, where's the extra energy coming? Do I believe if you do that, if you have hydrogen mixed in with your regular gasoline mixture, that you're, like, say you've got you put in electric engine or electric motors on your wheels, and you're using reactive braking, and you're using that extra electricity to generate hydrogen whenever you're putting the brakes on. Do I think you can improve your fuel economy? Yeah, I think you can. But as far as running your car off of it, no way.
Well, it says here on Dr. Google, the energy efficiency, the motion you get out of your gasoline engine is about 35%.
Right.
Of the fuel burn. 65% lost its heat. That's why you need the cooling systems and all the rest of that shit, because it's just burned up. And then there's friction and all that other crap. Right. So it's pretty bad.
Jimmy. Grinch says nuclear power is the answer, but nobody really thinks about nuclear power as basically just a steam engine. You can put a paddle wheel in the river and get the same effect, basically.
Well, there was a thorium turbine car a while back in the 60s, or was it late 50s? Thorium was going to be the answer, but I guess there's too much fissile material that could be produced out of it for contamination bomb or whatever else. So that idea was scrapped.
Sure. What about iridium? That was supposed to be used for warming houses back in the late 1800s and early 1900s.
Did you say iridium?
Iridium?
Oh, yeah.
I know that the RT.
I'm going to dress up like a woman, and I'm going to use the woman's bathroom today.
The RTGs they had on Voyager 1 and 2, there's 3 of them. They both had all 3 had 4.4 kilograms of plutonium-235.
Right.
They generate an immense amount of heat, very little electricity. They're great
Wow.
heat producers, but that's about it.
Yeah, those
No,
were Stirling engines that they had around those guys.
no, I wasn't talking about Cush or none of those guys. I'm just talking about there's a form of radioactive material called iridium.
I know,
I mean, I see it in the
but
comments here.
it's funny,
Um,
man.
I know. I'm just over, being too serious at the moment.
Yeah.
But I do watch a lot of videos when they try to analyze the past, and they find, you know, there's we had all kinds of remedies for all kinds of stuff, but they don't let the common man have it no more because it's so. Even mercury, they say, oh, it's toxic. Man, people bathe in that stuff. They use it to process gold, and
Right.
I mean, oh, but the Mad Hatter. I mean, all right, maybe guys who make hats were exposed to the chemicals in a different manner than just touching mercury. It doesn't absorb right in your skin and kill you. I don't know.
Well, over time it'll get you. It's like a lot of that stuff. It depends on the level of your exposure. If you've got your hands in it every day and you're heating it up and steaming hats and shit,
That's probably a bad idea. Yeah.
Lead is another one that it makes great pipes, but after a while.
Well, I mean, how did they ever figure, just being, out of left field here, how did they ever figure they put mercury on a hat to make it better? Where did that ever come from? It's just so weird why they would think of that. I don't know.
People now, I mean, photography come about in 1830s. Who the hell's sitting around in the 1700s playing with all these chemicals before they realized, hey, I can
Thomas Bacon.
I can take silver and mine it in a red light, and I can scrunch it up and put it on this, and I can make pictures, but I need this kind of chemical. Man, I have no idea about alchemy and how all this stuff come about.
I don't know how they did it. But I mean, they came up with, you remember the radium girls and all that, where they put fucking radium in everything for a while, and people were just dying.
Well, the way that they ingested it was the worst part. They licked that brush every single time.
The brush.
And ingested alpha particle is very damaging. So, if it were a beta, it would have been different. But alphas really do a lot of damage, and you put it into your internals, that's a bad day.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're ingesting it too. That makes it worse because some radiation will bounce off you if it's external, but internal, that's a different ballgame, right?
And if you have to get rid of, if you have to make a bowel movement to get it out. So where I work, if at a nuclear plant, if you end up ingesting anything, you're in for some long episodes of all of your biomass coming out of your body. We don't clear you if you were to ingest anything until your poop and your pee, it comes back clean, but you still suffered significant damage because some of the stuff's not coming out. It's going to stay in there and going to cause you problems.
It's not going to be a good rest of your life, perhaps, right?
I don't recommend ingesting radiation.
No, I don't think you want a chunk of plutonium with your morning coffee. That'd be a bad idea. But
what do you guys think about atmospheric electricity? I've seen where some guys will put a ground, put a drone like 100 feet in the air with a spool of copper wire, and they'll start pulling voltage off of that.
Yeah, maybe
you can measure potential differences with rods into the ground. It's not a lot of voltage, but you can see that in the ground. But
sure,
to see
I saw where I think it was 1800s. It was like 1890s or something, and some guy was trying to recreate it by putting copper rods in his garden to try and get more electricity or a magnetic field for that. Earth batteries.
Well, you'd have to if you have any conductor moving through a magnetic field or vice versa, you can get electricity out of it, right? But it would have to be moving in the magnetic field, and they tried that. I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, where you remember that, Honeycomb? They took that on the space shuttle. They took up this big thing, and they were going to wind out 100 miles of freaking wire or something, and to try to produce electricity with the Earth's magnetic field.
Huh.
Remember that?
I remember that.
I don't recall that experiment, but if you here on Earth, you can see that if you have a long row of fence line, any geomagnetic disturbances same with our electric grid. It turns the long wire into an antenna, and it
Sure.
will take that magnetic field and it will generate electricity. And it has to go
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, but the problem is you can probably generate a voltage, but you can't get very much current out of it, right?
Well,
There's
the problem with pushing current out of a wire is you have to be able to maintain the magnetic field, or you won't. So imagine this: you have a hose that you put water through. Everyone has a garden hose, and when you turn the spigot on, if the line is empty, you don't get water for quite a while. So what we have to be able to generate water out the end of that hose, well, there has to be water in the hose. Well, that's the magnetic field. And until that water fills the hose, that 1 molecule of water going in the hose doesn't become a molecule of water coming out. So, yes, you can generate a potential, i.e., voltage, but when it comes to current, you have to be able to maintain the magnetic field to do that.
Well, and you have to have also a closed loop, right? So if you put a
You can,
single-ended wire out in the world, you might be able to get a voltage on it, but then
well,
you'd
you
have to
can get,
put a load on it to get the current out of the wire.
that's
Right?
correct. So
Yeah.
the most dangerous, if you're on a distribution line at your house and it's at the end of a line and it doesn't have any other lines that radiate out, that's I won't bore everybody with the details, but it's a radial line that ends, it terminates. Those are the
Yeah.
most dangerous lines to control because they don't have outlets, and you have to have what we call reactors, and they're not what you think. It's just a ground, a shunt capacitor. So we can vary voltage depending on load. So you're right, load is going to play a big role on what that end of the line is going to do and how it's going to behave. But in general, you know, if you want to be able to move electricity, you're going to have to maintain a magnetic field. Otherwise, you're just looking at, potential from one end to the other.
Man,
Yeah.
I wish I took more engineering classes. Oh man,
Oh,
the
it's
stuff I
fun.
missed out on. Oh god.
I mean, Honeycomb's saying, "Oh, I don't want to bore you guys." I'm like, "Oh, this is good. I like
Yeah.
this."
No, that was well said, man. I mean, not boring at all. I mean, the typical guy stuff. I think we all like it.
I had to explain power factor the other day to one of my guys. It's like, oh boy,
Oh,
you don't know
oh,
that?
listen, if you've never taught any, so, a power factor of 1 is a resistive load. And if you put any induction across something, your power
Yep.
factor changes. It's
Hmm.
it's not the most difficult thing in the world to teach, but you can, when you talk about D curves and, whether you're bucking or boosting in your megavars for your inductive load, when
Ooh.
you start talking about those things and whether you're going to use a capacitance or you're going to use a shunt reactor, to maintain the voltage down line, you have to start with really small pieces because if you try to introduce the big picture, normally I start with a big picture. I don't do that when I'm teaching power factor. I start at a very small. We're going to get very granular. We're only going to talk about resistive loads. It's going to be a power factor of 1. We're not
Hmm.
changing anything right away. Then we can branch out into
You know
inductive
what?
loads.
Do you know what this makes me think of? You take a battery operated car and put a fan connected to it, another different alternator. Could you can you get can you get enough to actually charge the battery while you're
No.
driving? What's the
No.
coefficient?
Mhm.
What's the
No,
coefficient of loss of resistance? I mean,
No one's found a perpetual machine that doesn't have losses.
We can find one.
We
That'd be good, but we don't have one yet. Yeah.
I'd get marked if I ever came up with one, so I'm just not going to even try.
if we can find a way to harness women talking, we can solve all the energy crisis.
Oh, the hot air. My God, that'll heat your house. Just get a few women in there, it'll be fine.
and
Oh, he's a misogynist.
I think methane harvesting would be a better idea, but
It sounds expensive. The woman idea. That
If you
sounds
can take the
way too
frequency of
expensive.
their
They're
and
always
convert it to
expensive,
energy,
sir.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's fun stuff. It wasn't transmission line stuff, but it was just well, again, we don't have to talk too much engineering, but the current through wire, the power loss is I squared R, and it's the magnitude of the
Mhm.
current. And so if you keep power factor at 1, that's the minimum current that you can get through the wire. And if you're one way or the other, capacitive or inductive, the magnitude of the
Mhm.
current's going to be higher because of the
That's right.
phase angle and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all
What
that stuff.
what about a piezoelectric device you attach to a woman's head? Because this way, when they're talking all the time, I mean, you got to figure out the coefficient for the loss of that, but that should generate enough electricity for maybe a cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
it'd be
should.
low current. It'd be really low current.
What you should do is get a device like a speaker and put it over her face, and then plug that into your car. And then when she's talking, the speaker's going to generate a small amount of electricity. But hey, whatever.
Every little bit helps. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, honey, talk a little more. I only got 10 miles left on my charge. I'm like,
How was your day?
yeah.
I mean, I have taken a graphite pencil, and I took a piece of milk art, and I drew a line on there, and I could measure something on a meter, not very little, but still fascinating stuff. That's why I thought of the piezoelectric for
Oh, you
women.
mean resistance of the graphite?
Yeah, it generates electricity. I mean, I'm not saying it's just a good solution, but you look at America. Now, when I drive around North Carolina and a lot of the more of the rural areas, you could tell where they had a lot of more wheels in the river for generating, electricity or other.
Sure.
Why are we not using more of that? Why does everything have to be so damn difficult? Look at the Mississippi, all these AI centers. How come they're not putting all these on a river with a paddle wheel? You put enough little cogs and wheels in that thing, you can, get a 20-mile-an-hour moving paddle wheel. You can torque it. I'm sure.
Well, there,
You
you know,
can run a light bulb or something.
Nah,
the,
they used to run
hydro
factories in that. But go ahead.
hydro is a very renewable resource, but when you start getting the water management folks, whether it's the Army Corps of Engineering or anyone else, that's where the real difficulties come in. What they'll allow, on the water side, how they're going to maintain the pool level, whether it's a river or a lake. So there's a lot of variables there. It's the reason dams are used so much, because it controls water flow and they can get a good head on the actual turbine. So hydro's
Sure.
one of those worlds where I wish we used more of it, but it seems to be. I haven't seen a lot of new hydro dams go in. Most of them are really old. They've been around for 100+ years. It seems like.
Okay. Well, for my 2-ounce bird brain, this is what I'm thinking here, because North Carolina has the Cape Fear River. It's not as mighty as the Mississippi, but it is very long and it's got some good power. And in my brain, you just put a paddle wheel out, and you have a rod. You don't have to have the generator mechanism out in the water. You can have that as far inland as you want, and that's where you do all your maintenance and everything. As far as the paddle wheel goes, you just have something to turn the paddle so it goes into neutral, and you can lift it up and down like a boat in a slip. I don't know. I mean, to me, it just
Well,
Well,
Pat,
what you're talking about there, Batty, is called run on river hydro.
right.
And those systems exist. Turbines are more efficient, but
Maybe not as a primary power source, but as always have a backup. Like the grid. But why not just
there's a guy in New Zealand who built out of a washing machine. He built, because he has some hills, and he piped down some water from a spring or whatever it was, creek, and he ran it through an old washing machine. He ran wire to his house. He generated all of his household needs with an old washing machine, and all he had to build was essentially the piping down to a nozzle to the actual wheel,
Right.
and he made his own electricity out of a thrown away washing machine.
Now I've
a
seen
lot of
people in the
use
70s.
car alternators for that too.
Yeah, okay. I was getting
Yeah.
ready to say that. Back in the 70s, people would take car alternators and hook them to a bicycle and make the kids, oh, you want to watch TV? You get on the bike. Just trying
I mean,
to
No
keep
wonder
you.
we didn't have. No wonder we stayed skinny back then.
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, that's an interesting idea, this New Zealand guy, because a motor is essentially a generator. You just have to hook it up
Yes.
differently, right? So that's cool.
So
Yeah.
that's right. So I mean, we got right hand rules for motor and left hand rules for generator, and it's how you shoot the field with whether it's a generator or a motor. So yeah, he spins it essentially. I would assume the other direction, and off to the races. And now if you bury wire, it takes more EMF to maintain the field, so it's wasted energy. So I think he just put, like, it almost looked like an extension cord to his house above ground. He just laid it on the ground. So all of this looked temporary, but he was making permanent electricity. And then he did a follow up 4 or 5 years later, still using the same washing machine still making his own electricity on his own
Sweet.
property.
Now, like in Brandon's case, you could put up a small windmill out there, probably get a fair amount of juice. It's
Well,
windy in Kansas.
it is windy, but the reservoir I'm at is kind of down in a valley.
Not as windy as you'd like.
It's not prime real estate for wind, which is why I chose solar.
Yeah.
And you can get really good deals on solar if you buy used solar panels.
Fascinating.
If I was to buy the solar system that I've got out there now with new panels, it would cost 4 times what I spent on because I bought used stuff. And the solar panels I got, they just have cosmetic damage to them.
Sure. But I mean, they do run out eventually, right?
Oh yeah, they degrade over time.
Yeah. So there's only so many electrons, photons can kick out of the silicon or whatever.
All
metals.
this makes me want to just go ahead and just start a bee farm, collect the beeswax, and just light a candle every night. Just get just cut electricity out for 3/4 of the day. I wonder if somebody would come to my house if I actually went and shut all the electricity off in the box for half the day every day. How long would it take before someone comes out and go, is there something wrong? No.
I don't know.
I just don't need electricity all day, all night. You son of a bitch.
Sure, it's nice to have when you need it, though. It is
Yeah.
kind of nice. But yeah, I think also Honeycomb with the hydro stuff. It's all the greenies that are out there fighting everything all the time.
That's it.
Well,
that's why we don't have more refineries.
You know, this older tech, even when they came in with the new tech for the coal plants, the scrubbers that made such little emissions, now they were treated as nuclear waste and hazmat, but the companies were willing to pay for those scrubbers and they were still effective as far as costs, and there was no environmental harm, and we are the Saudi Arabia of coal. They didn't even like that.
No, of course not.
It's yeah, in Smith, there's a place where my parents have a lake house, and they cannot do work on their waterfront without permission from the Army Corps of Engineers. And you have to get a permit, and you have a short window to do the work. But we have this turtle down there that no one has ever seen that the greenies have said, this is the reason, and the Army Corps of Engineers agreed with them. This is the reason you can't do work here is because we're protecting the habitat for this little turtle that no one has ever seen. And so you can't protect your water line. And this is something and it has a hydro dam on it, and they run the pool up and down. It varies from winter and summer. But you really, when you're on water, I don't know that I want to have waterfront property. This New Zealand guy, that interests me because you could take spring water or, a stream, and you could run it a distance, keep necking it down in pipe, and, generate your own electricity. That really does interest me. But living on the water, I think the greenies have destroyed most of the hydro. That's the reason you haven't seen anything being built.
I think you're correct about that. Good night, Grinch.
I keep forgetting.
Good night, Grinch.
Good night, Grinch.
Yeah, I tried looking at properties on running water that had, you got to have 2 things. You got to have volumetric flow, and you got to have head. And getting a property that met both of those needs, that wasn't frozen half the fucking year, I was priced out of it. Whereas I was able to find some free land in Kansas, and I got 2 free acres.
Cool.
And then I bought the surrounding 2 plots that were on that same peninsula with me. And
I like free is good.
Free is good. So I only paid for 2/3 of my land.
Well, how about this deal? Speaking of land, they have this company, and I don't know what their name is, but they go around and they say, we got this one day only sale, land, all this other horse shit, right? And so it's for suckers. It's because the land is not developed. It doesn't have electricity, water, sewer, nothing, right? It's just bare land. But the prices was pretty good. 35 acres for 59 grand
Hmm.
down by Colorado Springs. That's a pretty good price, really.
A lot of those ones are way up in the fucking mountains.
No, this one's east, so it's out in the
it's east?
plains. This
Oh,
yeah. And I wouldn't mind that at all, but the problem is, you know, you got to plumb in everything, and you got to dig your septic, and you right? It ain't cheap, right?
No, or you got to do it yourself,
You got to do it yourself.
which is what I'm doing.
But I saw that there were electric poles and shit out there, but I don't know if there were drops for housing or if there was the higher voltage. You know, I don't know. Honeycomb's the voltage guy. I don't know if it's what 13,000 is up on those, the smaller ones.
I'll tell you
Well,
what.
distribution centers are somewhere around there.
Yeah. Then they drop it to a transformer down to your house.
Yeah,
That's right.
Australia.
I'll tell you what,
Australians here.
I lived up in West Virginia for 9 months on a job. It was involved with a coal mine back in the 90s. And my job required me to go from site to site. And I got to know quite a few of these people up there, wonderful people. And some of these people, man, they kill me. These guys would literally just beg, borrow, or, you know, rent a machine, and they would just slice right into a mountain, make a flat spot, build a damn house, you know, stick some pipe inside of the mountain till they hit some water, and they would just call that home. Now it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what humans can do, man, when they really set their mind to it.
West Virginia is nice. If you're going to retire, that wouldn't be a bad place. But
It depends
No.
where you're going to go. Some places
Yeah.
you don't want a piece of, but some others, man, it's almost heaven, just like the song.
the song,
Yeah.
Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains.
Huntingtown's
I-
a really nice town. That place is real nice.
Yeah, I mean it's all right, but there's a lot of problems, right? Drugs, it's a big problem.
Well, yeah, because when they shut down all the coal mining, I was there at the heyday of the coal mining. That's why it was great.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine after they shut it down, they literally killed entire cities, towns, and counties. It just and now when Biden was in, they were dynamiting a shitload of the coal plants in Tennessee to make sure they could never work again. It's stupid.
I mean, it's just you got to think in 100 years, maybe more. Historians are going to look back and say, "What the fuck were they thinking?"
Oh,
They're sitting on all of this coal. It's right there. It burns clean. And
Clinton shut it all down, and we didn't. Okay, here's the funny part. You know, we thought they shut it down. They didn't shut it down. They kept mining. They just sent it all to China because
That's right.
We literally sent so many factories over there and showed them how to make stuff better. I mean, 80% of that country were living out they were peasants living out in the country. They had no toilets. And we gave them in 20 years a first world American lifestyle. And now they're laughing at us because we literally just handed it to them.
Well, if you look at every industrial nation and you look at their GDP,
right?
Look at energy. Energy is the number one predictor of whether or not you're a first world country and how much you pay for it.
Yep.
Mhm.
And if we make our electricity more expensive, then we're purposely degrading our own lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're doing that on purpose. That 2030 agenda. If you go to the World Economic Forum, everybody says Alex Jones is brilliant. Alex Jones says himself, he said, "I'm not brilliant. I just go, watch a TED talk. These people literally say we want to kill half the population. We want to make everybody, Al Gore was talking about, stop using toilet paper. Use a rag that you wash. No, I'm not doing that. We have all the technology in the world to make everything great, but they keep manufacturing shortages of everything. I mean, there's people in England I talk to on a regular, and I was talking to them just yesterday. They're killing off all the animals, or they're just not breeding them anymore, and they're building more. They call them housing, but I call them barracks for the invaders. All this is manufactured in Germany. They just blew up their last nuclear plant or something not too long ago, but yet they're the leading manufacturer for all the war machinery. So they're making all the machine guns, tanks, vehicles. Where are they getting their energy from? I mean, I don't get it, man. I really don't. Of course, now they got these new form of police where they go around. Even over in England, they're telling people they have to turn their air conditioners off and dismantle them and get them out of their house.
Well, that's smart grid here in the U.S. was that 20 years ago when they were going smart grid and developing the standard for the appliances, they want a grid dispatcher instead of browning out an entire town or city or county or state, it when they lose generation, they have to dump load because they have to keep them in balance. You can't have more load than your generation. So if you lose let's say a nuclear plant trips or a coal plant goes offline, you
Right.
now have to reduce load. Well, in the old days, you had to brown people out, you or black them out. You just had to go. You have to lose electricity. With the smart
California.
grid, they can go in and they can pick an appliance in an individual home and turn it off. Well, that gets us to air conditioning. They can walk over and kill all the inductive load. They can go air conditioners off for this entire little, road or city or block, and they'll tell you when you can turn your air conditioner back on. So that was the idea for smart grid, and that's very Orwellian.
Now, not you, but when you say smart, I mean it triggers me because every time I worked in a corporate environment, so I worked at the hospital right before COVID, and pulled us in for a meeting. Said we will work smarter. I hate that term because I know when they say we're going to work smarter, that means we're going to work harder for less. I hate that shit. But
That
yeah, I
is
know.
correct,
Well,
sir.
When I
they
hear the smart
gaslight.
system, shit.
They gaslight us with climate change. They gaslight us with the words. They've taken over language, to
Yeah.
gaslight us. It's a perpetual, the Russians years ago, when I I've asked them questions because I've met Russians in Russia before. And I'm like,
Mm.
how did you let them do this to you? And they said, we knew they were lying to us. It was the most demoralizing, thing in the world. And the joke was, we pretend to work and they pretend to pay us.
Right.
They knew they were being gaslighted and they did nothing about it. And I think they create the apathy through language. And I think that's where we're at today in our modern society.
Sure. Just like weaponizing compassion. That's why we let all these undeserving people in all these nice countries that spent over 1,000 years to build and put infrastructure in. Yeah, I get it. That's
Yeah,
that's why that's why I miss the '80s because men were in charge of everything. If there's problems, we solved it. And for the last 40 years, I'm watching women take over more and more, and they've done nothing to improve anything, and they're always so happy to go along with. We will work smarter, and I was like, oh, great, here we go.
or the latest push for AI fucking everything, which isn't going to work, and it hasn't worked.
It's not organic. Nobody's asked for it. And the only people who want it is all the intel companies. I mean, agencies.
Well, they
Because
want us to pay for it. They
well,
don't want to pay for it themselves. They want us paying for it.
we
Of
are
course.
paying for it. Again, this all goes back to the World Economic Forum. Look at the 2030 agenda. They want the 15-minute cities. They want to control everybody's access. The idea of freedom, they want that to go away for some reason. Oh yeah, because they want it. I keep forgetting about the invasion over in Europe. They want
And here,
people they can control. They think they can control.
I mean, they have a lot of this 15-minute city shit here in Colorado. It's like it's fake. You know what I mean, Brandon?
yeah,
When you drive into one of those places where they have those neighborhoods, and it's like this is fake.
right.
It's not real.
And it's not fucking cheaper either.
No.
It's always fucking more expensive, and the quality is shit.
Mm-hmm.
They pack you in like lemmings,
Yeah.
It's
Or
like
even like sardines. Even.
it's like the idea of flock cameras. Oh, it's for your safety. All right, has crime
Bullshit.
reduced?
No, it's not.
I
No, they
talked to
figured
anybody.
out how to privatize fucking Big Brother. That's what
Right.
it is.
I talked to my friends in England, and because they got a lot of cameras over there, and they say every time they're walking to whatever, they said they can see all the cameras following them, but the crime has not reduced. It's like, why have them?
Gee, you think criminals don't pay attention to the law?
Well, they
Imagine
don't.
that.
Well, first of all right, I'm not going. I'm trying not to get triggered to have a rant here, but we've all seen very many instances where some criminals are let go over and over and over again, and the people who do obey the law, that's the ones that the cops are all focusing on. Making sure that they intimidate us because for some reason they're not stopping. Is it the cops or the judges or is it both? I don't know. I think it's more the judges. Most of
I
your
think it's
cops,
all of the
I,
above.
Yeah, now I've done a lot of ride-alongs with a lot of police because I wanted to see what my money's going for, and I kind of got addicted to it for a bit. And most of them, even if they are assholes, most of them really just want to do an honest day's job because they got a family too. They'd rather go fuck off somewhere instead of go mess with people. But sometimes they're kind of given orders to do certain things. You want to keep that pension, don't you, boy? That kind of shit.
Well, there's a
I
lot
mean,
of cities where people have defended the citizenry, and Penny comes to mind in the subway,
mhm.
and he went
Yep.
through absolute hell for actually doing the right thing, and all it takes is one prosecutor and a grand jury, obviously, but I mean, it's terrible what he went through, and he's not the only one. Rittenhouse went through it.
Yeah.
If you do it the right way and you're protecting people, how dare you? If you're in the wrong city, you can expect to be prosecuted.
Sure.
The way they went out after those men, the Penny thing and the Rittenhouse thing, God, they tried every fucking way to make this Rittenhouse guy into a Nazi, and that's not what he was. And of course, egg on their face, no apologies. Never hear any of that. It's like, oh, it's just
And amazingly,
Trump's fault.
and amazingly, everybody he touched. When I say touched, I mean at the end of the barrel. They were all felons. Horrible felons. None of them were sweetheart hippies or nothing. These were dangerous people.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard any apologies out of anybody for fucking COVID?
Negative.
Nope.
Nobody's going to
Well,
jail for nothing, and that's what's really disheartening. All the people. All the
that's
COVID
right.
stuff. Anybody go to jail? No. Epstein. Anybody go to jail? No. Well, Ghislaine Maxwell, but
Well, so
what
that's
are
the
they going to do with
reason
her?
most men have voted with no confidence, because we realize there's a two-tier justice system. It's a big old club, and we ain't in it, and we're just absolutely sick of that.
Well, I'm trying to stay focused. Because I'm so sweet and innocent, and I see the best in everything. I keep forgetting about the 2030 agenda. All this is manufactured. I have to keep reminding myself, this is not organic. This is not in our best interest. It's in nobody's best interest. Nobody asked for half the stuff that's going on right now. If they would just leave people alone and just let us do what we do naturally, life would be a lot better and safer. But no, they can't have that.
Well, none of this stuff is organic. The LGBTQ plus whatever acronyms today or tomorrow, and none of this is. You're talking about less than 10% of the population. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's, but they want to make you believe that they're the majority and they have some moral superiority to us. All of this is manufactured.
Superiority bullshit. Fuck that.
Which bullshit, Brandon? I'm sorry.
The Rainbow Mafia.
Oh yeah.
Talks down their nose at everybody about having moral superiority on whatever the fucking issue is.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking sick of it.
I tell you what, I'm sick of.
I don't want those fuckers in here in MGTOW. They have no fucking reason to be in MGTOW.
Other than to pollute it. That's the whole point, is to sully the reputation and the name of who they haven't yet slandered or gone down that road. Yeah, it almost seems like we need to be more protective now and more on guard now, because they're focused on us a lot harder now.
Wasn't that Howard? That Howard fellow was trying to introduce all that, wasn't he? I forgot his name. Howard something.
Howard Dare.
Yeah, he was trying to introduce the troons and the weak-wristed ones for some reason. He was trying to. He come on Outlaw Stream one night, talk about, oh yeah, we should be nicer, and you let him in. They're like, what? No, get the hell out of here, man! Everybody ran him off.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of people doing that. There's every year there's 2 or 3 more guys, content creators, fucking doing it. We've got a guy. I think
money's involved.
Yeah.
Like you guys were saying earlier, there's some money involved. Yeah.
I think somebody is getting to them and paying them, money to do this. I'm not saying there's a nation behind it, but somebody is funneling money to these folks to come off their principled positions, and for 30 pieces of silver, worse things were done. That's what it seems like here. Is we've got people that are in the space that people go, oh, we could compromise them, and there are people that listen to them. I, I'm paying a lot more close attention to a lot of content creators now for that very reason.
Well, I mean, that's what these type people do. The Marxist types. They infiltrate. Slow. They start with a trickle, and then it's a flood. That's exactly how they operate.
I think a lot of the false empathy for especially older guys like me, because I remember back in the 90s, you know, you had all the daytime TV shows showing all the Truans and all the other alternative lifestyle stuff. And all of a sudden, everybody started coming out around 93, 94. And they're all expecting, you know, some kind of big dramatic stuff. And I remember I was at a friend's house and some guy come out and he said, you know, I just want to let everybody know I have an announcement. I'm good. And everybody just looked and said, yeah, and nobody cared.
Yeah, so who gives a shit?
Yeah. And I think ever since then, a lot of them, they're just mad because nobody said, well, welcome to society. You know, look, you like doing that kind of stuff. Great. Just keep it at home. Nobody, I hate the idea of celebrating somebody for, you know, doing something they do in the bedroom. I mean, everybody does something, but you know, I don't ask people. I don't start my conversation off, "Hi, what part of the body do you like to put in your mouth?" I mean, it's fucking rude and stupid. I mean, if you like doing whatever you do, great. Just don't tell me about it. It's like getting around a bunch of guys who are poon hounds. They're like, oh, yeah, I love doing this to women. Shut up. We all like doing stuff to women. I don't want to hear you unless you got some kind of technique or something, you know, that nobody's heard about that makes them go crazy. You know, shut up.
What's up, Raisin?
For no reason. Did you see Sharzanobble got out the magic wand and whacked somebody already? You see that?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't go too far with that last one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm just tired of everybody, especially young people. You know, like I said, you know, I'm an old man. I'm 61 now, and every time I run across, you know, people in their 20s, all they talk about is sex, and all kinds of sex. I'm like, great. Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't invent it. You know, do you have a hobby?
Yeah, read a book. You know, try that. You know, come on.
You read a book?
But,
what is a book?
But I mean, this has been, unfortunately, we don't have to name any 3-letter agencies, but this has been the fucking plan. That's what the sexual revolution was all about. That's what feminism was all about. That's what happened.
I always have lurkers, and once we started talking about this, I've been noticing that they've been coming in and getting all mouthy.
Oh boy. But I mean, it's been proven. There's evidence, documentation about, you know, the CIA doing movies and films and
I'll do you one better than
music,
that. I'll do
magazines, all that kind of shit. Yeah, go
ahead. Back in the 50s, after World War II, when the Berlin Wall went up, East Germany, under the direction of the Communist Party, had to show the West just how great and wonderful communism is, right? So there were documentaries. They scrubbed them off fucking YouTube, man. Anyways, they would have sexual awareness classes for women over in East Germany. You know, this was the pre-beginning to the, you know, I don't need a man. So they would have classes for masturbation and sexual exploration amongst themselves. And so they experimented with a lot of, you know, sexual deviancy to see how much they would tolerate it. And considering, you know, almost half their men were killed during the war. You know, there's a surplus of women, so you know they were doing whatever the hell they wanted. You know, who's going to stop them? So I found that documentary very fascinating and disturbing. But that was before the '60s sexual revolution. So if you're able to find certain historical documents, you can see when something happens. This has been 20, 40 years in the making. None of this shit's new. Michael Yon, I love watching Michael Yon. Not everything he does, but he loves reading books from the 1800s on how to take over countries by displacing the population. And he's making, 1800s. Oh, gee whiz, who thought about displacing a country population with another population? None of this shit's new, man. It's so who knows?
Well, they have a term for it. They have a term for it in Britain. It's called breed them out, and you know they bring in a foreign group, and then they outbreed the naturalized citizen.
That's what China does everywhere they go in Africa, Central America. They don't need a military. They just marry all the population until it's just them. And they're doing a pretty damn good. I mean, look at Western Canada. They've been doing this stuff hard and heavy since the 80s. They've been importing as many Chinamen as they could and just breeding them out. And I heard somebody talking about Texas with the Indians and stuff. I mean, it's only a matter of time before this H-1B1 visas guys start, multiplying.
You saw the fraud on that recently, didn't you, Batty? There was a recent audit of the H-1B1 or whichever one it was. They didn't. The over 3/4 of them that came in were not doing the jobs that they said they were going to do.
Yep.
I've seen the list, like the wish list of employees they need, people who masseuses. You're telling me you can't find any freaking masseuses in America? They need to import them. Get out of here. Tennis instructors. You need an H-1B1 visa for, an Indian tennis instructor. Man, get out of here with that shit. Not you, but you know what I mean. I've seen a lot of this stuff. I'm trying not to get frustrated with the world because I'm trying to have fun with my, little sci-fi videos. And since I started my little online business, I'm trying to, work on that. I'm trying to ignore a lot of stuff so I can have some quality of life and fun without waking up pissed off every day.
Well, I think that's really the goal again of the gaslighting is to get us to disengage, which I don't know that governments thought that we would completely disengage the way we have, hence the reason that they're a little concerned about that. I think the women are really shocked about it as well, that men have just completely disengaged in a lot of ways beyond just relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've done a fantastic job. Once they removed all the men's authority and just piled all the responsibility on us, slavery, MGTOW's on remote control. Hell, you don't even have shit. I was MGTOW 10 years before I even heard about it. And I was like, when I heard guys talk about it, I'm like, oh, I feel very validated. Like listening to Tom Likas, I'm like, holy shit, I've been doing this for years. I'm not the only one. Great.
Yeah. No, it's
but men are
true.
still very clever. I'm trying to, I don't have a place to really watch a lot of, oh God, that sounds so wrong. I got to watch my phrase, watch young men, do, jobs, enter the workforce. But I still see a lot of creative, men doing what men do. And that's awesome because men aren't giving up. They're just kind of,
Well, it's redirected, it's refocused. But we're trying to avoid the government as much as possible, whether taxation or marriage. We're trying to avoid all of the entanglements that come along with that. And it's
Sure.
become difficult for these young men with inflation being the unelected tax that we're all paying. I feel bad for these young men because we were probably the last generation that came in before this inflation really destroyed the American dream. If that was even a dream when, we had that opportunity. But, a lot of men have been ruined in marriage and have not recovered from that. And they're not much better off than the millennials or the Gen Z or who's coming after. But yeah, a lot of these young men have just given up completely because they don't feel like they have any hope. It's pretty sad to see.
It's sad to see because they're not properly thinking through they're not properly thinking it through. I recently, see, I got divorced in recently. I had a place in Ukraine with a business, and I got divorced there. And then they had the war, and I lost fucking everything. I showed back up to the United States with fucking $13,000. And if you're willing to fucking sacrifice some time and take on a really fucking uncomfortable higher paying job that pays for your housing while you're doing the fucking job, you can dedicate a few years of your life and come back and get what you want, especially if you're really fucking smart with how you get your property. You're not going to be able to live in the fucking city center. You're not going to be able to fucking drive a new car. But you can fucking make your own way out there. It's not fucking impossible. The American dream is not dead. You just got to fucking work your ass off to get it.
I agree.
It is,
I've always
it is
heard
much harder, but it's fucking doable.
I've heard now the rich. If you it depends who you listen to is giving advice. I've always heard guys who were successful. They always said, "Look, when you're young, don't go out and party and piss your money away. That's the time you need to really save all your money, learn how to invest. Because when you hit 30 and 40, that's when you're actually got enough life experience to be interesting and really know what to do with your money. And I see a lot of value in that. Even now, I'm willing to sacrifice a lot of pleasure and fun. I still have to go climb trees and cut those things down. Do you think I like doing that? No, not anymore. But I will do it. Like True Blood said, I do dangerous jobs because it does pay well. And I'm not there yet. I haven't crossed the finish line, but I'm working on it. Can it be done? Yes, through sacrifice and hard work. But making money's easy. It's what people do with it is where they all fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're pissing
it's
your
not
money
what you
away
keep.
renting, if you're renting, that is the biggest fucking single drain on your money, and you're giving it away to somebody else. No offense, Rusty, but god damn, man.
Go live
I know
with.
Rusty's not running a fucking charity, but it's a great source of income if you want to be that guy. But
Do like Mexicans, man. Go live with 10 other dudes and stack your cash. Learn to invest it. Like you said, sacrifice for a little bit. I mean, will it be annoying? Yeah, but think about it. What's the reward going to be? If you seriously, I mean, for a young guy in his 20s, if he spent anywhere between 5 to 10 years stacking his cash, learning how to invest, I mean, really focus on that and live very thrifty. I mean, the best time of my life was in my 40s, and part of mostly but my 40s was great time. And my 50s was even better. I can't imagine, if I had the ability to make more money, what's my 60s going to be like? What am I going to be able to accomplish with all that? I've got life experience now. I'm more focused. I have way more discipline than I've ever had. In my 20s, I was reckless. I was like, I needed a brand new truck. I went out and bought a brand new truck. I need a place to live. I went and rented a place. I need a wardrobe. I went into debt. And I was, shit, man. And I was paying
that's the biggest. It's really heartbreaking. Is the whole car thing? These kids think they have to have a brand new car and all this other horse shit. It's like, God, such a waste of fucking money. What are you doing? But it's a 72-month program. It's only $200 a month.
Hey,
how much interest are you paying on the damn car? Have you figured that out?
I'm going to say it this way. Some people have to learn a very hard lesson, and you can't save everybody. That's just the way it is.
Well, I guess I had to learn a lesson because I didn't have any money to even play with. So sure. I guess I had to figure it out. It was the hard way, but whatever. But now it's so obvious and clear. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you waste money on that kind of shit? You could invest it. Oh, but in 50 years, you're going to thank yourself. Because it's going to be a big fat stack of cash.
I look around my neighborhood. And I look, everybody looks at everybody. I look at my neighbors, and whenever I see a metal roof go up on top of a house, I'm like, do they have the money for that, or is it a home equity loan? How many of these people are in debt to have nice cars, keep their lawn, keep their lawns as good as they look, and have all the vehicles they have? How much debt are these people living in? I would guarantee. I would almost say that over half my neighborhood are so deep in debt. If they hiccuped for like 2 months, they probably lose it all.
A lot of them are probably literally paycheck to paycheck. They spend every fucking thing, and they borrow and they buy and they do all this shit, and their paychecks are gone.
Yeah, 1/3 of my neighborhood.
They're independently wealthy. They got a big grandpa check or something when he died. Who knows? Hard to tell.
Well, I'm pretty sure 1/3 of my neighborhood, they're all retired, living on pension, so they're leveraging every cent they get every month. They're not going to lose everything, but man, I couldn't imagine. It's like you make $100,000 a year, but you only got 15 grand to work with every year because you pissed all your money away on credit.
Yeah.
Oh God, I mean, being debt free, you can make way less money, but still be way more rich than somebody who actually makes way more money than you because you're not pissing it away.
That's right.
You're not paying
my car is Yeah, my car,
What's-
my truck is 23 years old. My car is 22 years old. You
Yeah.
know, I'm almost debt free. You know, I had to get a new air conditioner for the house last year. Other than that, I don't owe anybody shit except tax, man.
Yeah. It's nice.
And it's and for some reason, you know, my house is way cheaper to live in than the apartment that just got built. You know, half a mile away from me. Make
Well,
that make sense.
do you have rent control in your area of any sort?
I don't know. I'm kind of
Well,
prideful.
that only makes
I don't
yeah,
look for
that
that.
only makes things more expensive every time they come in with rent control.
I'm in
Um,
Right.
I'm in North Carolina, and as far as I know, everybody's on their own. You know, the right to work state, which means they can fire you for stupid shit.
well,
As far
with
as rent
all the
control, I
folks
don't
that
know.
yeah, with all the folks that city to city, they vary on whether or not they do rent control. And the people who take it in the shorts there are the landlords, not the people who have already been there and on rent control aren't that bad off. But all it does is make all future rentals that much more expensive.
And my
And there are a lot of people trying to rent. There's another reason why the rent goes up. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now my biggest fear in North Carolina is Apple moved a shitload of their operation here. IBM moved from California here.
Hmm. Housing
Hell,
pressure.
and I don't know if you guys know it or not, but North Carolina has a substantial movie studio in Wilmington, and they just built
Hmm.
five brand new sound stages and an extra water stage. So they're ramping
Mm.
up because everybody in Hollywood they can't afford to make movies over there anymore. So now everybody in California is moving here to North Carolina because it was so cheap and it was, you know, the standard of living is really
Hmm.
good. They're gonna man my house taxes went up $800 in a year last year, and I'm like, where's this money going?
You
Eight
guys are
hundred
going to get the Californication just like we did in Colorado.
Sure, and it's going to get to a point where I'm going to get priced out. I'm going to have to, you know, sell everything for whatever I can get it for, and I'm just going to have to go. I'll probably end up in a freaking, if I'm lucky, a small, you know, mobile home somewhere in Florida, with all the other old geezers, and
Yeah.
then I
Oh,
can join. Then I
on
can
the on
join.
the
I could be
go
one of those
ahead. Sorry.
swingers and get probably end up with syphilis or something. You know, they got
Yeah,
a lot
go
of
down to
babies down
whatever
there.
the village is. That's where you get the syphilis from grandma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Hey man, don't underestimate some of that grandma poon. Some of it's still intact.
there you know.
No,
I mean,
don't do it. Don't do it, man.
on the,
Oh
on
my
the,
goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna pass
It's
on
not really a
that. Thank you
blowjob
for the
till they take the
visual.
dentures out.
yeah, that's the best you ever had. She took her teeth out. It's like, oh God,
Well, yeah, there's
Jesus,
a lot to be said
Brandon,
there. Oh yeah.
you're 6.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Well,
Yeah.
on the
gentlemen,
website,
we have
I was good.
gotten to the point of denture blowjobs, so I'm going to call it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh God,
Yeah, I
granny,
look.
So
granny porn. Oh Jesus. All
We've
right,
gone into gummies. I'm just gonna.
there you
that's
go.
adventure. I like that one. A denture adventure.
Oh God.
If you're lucky,
Oh.
she might have a little polygrip left on her gums, man, for traffic.
Oh God. Okay, here we go.
Anyways, so
If you
any
don't mind
final
her,
thoughts?
oh yeah, if you don't mind her, taking a smoke break every 2 minutes, yeah, grandma could be fun.
Is that your final thought?
No, that's my last joke though.
No. I just want to. We've had a number of guests that come and some of them have checked out. But gentlemen, don't get married. Act accordingly. The world's out. They're not our friends. So do the best you can.
I like that. Okay, if I'm going to have a final thought, based on what we talked about tonight, yeah, be smart. Remember, all of us are, working men. We're smart. We're smarter than the system to a point. We can make our lives as, a little better than you think you can, but you're going to have to guard it and protect it. You have to be very jealous of your own life. Nobody's going to rescue you. Nobody's going to help you. You got to build it, make it. Are you willing to do it? That's it.
All right, Hamster.
I would say that overall, men getting together, talking about these things and pointing it out over the last, 20 years or whatever, it's finally starting, I believe, to make a difference. We don't have the government on board yet, but, who knows, right? But the girls sure as hell know it. Now, I don't hate girls. I want them to be happy, but they have to get the message. They've gone too far. They've been, there's no guardrails in their behavior yet. And good men, not just us, not us incels or whatever they want to call us, are waking up to the fact that this is bullshit. The guys that they really want are also saying, nah, not doing that. So we are making a difference. Although it's a hard fucking road, people are starting to see the light, perhaps. The young guys are, right? Certainly. Some old guys like Brandon, he'll get married another time before he dies because he just can't learn. That's just kidding, Brandon.
That's a good one, Hamster. I actually, now, before I stopped dating, went monk, I actually told the last woman, I said, I can't afford you. She said, what? I said, I can't afford to take you out to dinner or go to the beach on the weekend. I said, I'm getting old. I got to retire. I said, bye. Oh, and Brandon, thanks for having me on, man. I don't want to leave without saying thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you, Trent.
Thank you
Had a
for
good
coming.
time.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Be
And
safe.
remember, no marriage, no cohabitation, no new children, and around here, no cunts.
No cunts.
See you later.
Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South. Corn in my butthole, corn in my mouth, corn in Nebraska, Great Plains, baby, fuck the South.